We'll talk England a lot more later, and definitely in its entirety between 10 and 10:30, assuming that France-Switzerland doesn't go to extra time. Let's bring in Julien Laurent, of course, our regular from the EuroLeague show. Hi, Jules, you okay?
Hi, Steve. Very good, thank you. And you?
Yeah, very good. You've only beaten Switzerland once in the last 5 times that you've played them.
You love that stat. But it was at the World Cup, so it was very important, you know?
You're not worried, are you?
Not worried.
No.
Not worried. Worried. I think we're still favourite, and rightly so. I'm a bit... Worried is not the right word. By this formation, we're going to play 3 at the back, which we haven't played often. Deschamps tried it 3 times before. I never thought he was that convincing. Of course, there's a problem at left back because both Ding is out completely. Hernandez had an injury. His back is not fully fit. So you play Rabiot as a left wing back, which is almost like playing Chris Sutton as a sweeper. And you're thinking like, well, would I go into a Euros last 16 with Chris Sutton as a sweeper? I'm not sure. I would trust him, and I trust Rabiot on the left. But yeah, that's the only thing. Let's see. It could well work, and we still have the front 3 and Pogba and Kanté midfield and all of that. But this is a new formation. You know, I don't like change. I like my routine, and this is a bit too new for me.
Julian, I've been sort of reading stories about the French team are slightly unhappy. It's hot. They're unhappy with the weather in Bucharest, and problems with the hotel. Wasn't the first choice hotel. I mean,
yeah.
How is the camp? Have they prepared well enough? How do you see this?
Yeah, they had a few issues, the players were saying.
Is it a French thing, all this complaining? I don't know.
You know, of course, you know us, Chris, of course. It's never perfect for us. You know, we need a Georges V 5-star hotel near the Champs-Élysées to be fully happy. But when they arrived in Bucharest at the hotel, in one of the rooms downstairs, there was a big party for a 20-year-old or end of graduation, some sort of university with music super loud. The beds were not that comfy. Yeah, I don't think it was perfect. I don't think they expected it to be perfect either, to be fair. And now they can focus back on the pitch, which I think is the most important. But apart from that, I think the group is happy with the progress, and I think they're very much looking forward to this game that Steve Crossman thinks we're going to lose.
No, I didn't say that. And listen, you knew I was about to say goodbye to you for now as well. You sneaky. We'll speak to you at half-time, Jules, yeah?
Thanks, guys.
Right, the teams are in the tunnel, so just before we go over for full commentary, let's get another check-in on Andy Murray at Wimbledon. Russell Fuller.
He's looking good on his return to singles action here at SW19. 2 sets up against Nicholas Basilashvili of Georgia, and he's broken in the opening game with a 3rd set as well. And looking good for Britain generally across the grounds at the moment. Heather Watson's taken the first set 6-2 against Christy Arn. Liam Brodie is serving at 5-4 for a 2-sets-to-love lead over Marco Cecchinato. And even on the court number 17, do we see a fight back from Jay Clark, who's just levelled the match at 1-set-all against Igor Gerasimov. Commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra.
Russell, thank you very much. We've already had one absolute belter in the last 16 of Euro 2020. Today, it finished after extra time. Spain 5, Croatia 3. Croatia with 2 late goals to take it to the additional 30 minutes, but Spain found a way to get over the line. Alvaro Morata scored one of the crucial goals. So it will be Spain for the winners of this game. France versus Switzerland. The teams are in the tunnel, and Chris Sutton is alongside Ali Bruceport.
Thank you, Steve. Hopefully you've peeled yourselves off the ceiling, made yourselves a cup of tea, grabbed a quick bite to eat, and you're all ready to go for our second Euro 2020 last 16 commentary of the day on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. The teams are on their way in Bucharest. It's not at full capacity, but there are plenty in there. There's a good noise, seen lots and lots of French fans already with the tricolor wigs, lots of blue, white and red. Paul Pogba, I spy, just coming out of the tunnel at the moment, has gone for a little patriotic splash of blue at the front of the hairstyle, followed by a sort of white, almost white blonde streak down the right-hand side of his hair. And they are on their way into the arena. Croatia 3, Spain 5. Chris Sutton, you're an optimistic man. Do you think we'll get something similar in this game we're about to watch?
Oh, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Do I think it's a 5-3? Probably not, but the pressure's on France now. Top of the group of death. They certainly weren't at their best. Knockout football, though, we know this is the time of the competition when they normally come on strong for Switzerland. This is a shot to nothing, isn't it? Nobody expects them to win, but we saw the other night Foda's Austrian boys, they ran Italy very, very close, and the Swiss will be hoping to do the same tonight.
Switzerland have reached the last 16 for the 4th consecutive major tournament. It is time for their national anthem. Little pocket of Swiss fans all together, holding the national flags up high. Captain Granit Xhaka with the pendant clasped tightly behind his back. His peroxide blonde hair as well, standing out in the stadium in Bucharest. Now one of the great national anthems. I think you'll enjoy this. France are the world champions, the pre-tournament favourites. They are ranked second in the world. They won that group of death, as Chris Sutton was explaining. They finished top of Group F on 5 points. They have never lost a competitive game to Switzerland. Played them 6 times in competitive internationals, won 2 and drawn 4. Actually, these two countries have met each other 4 times at a major tournament previously, and all quite recently, but always in the group stages, never in a knockout game. So something new for the two teams tonight. The stadium, Chris, let's just describe that for a second. This is the National Arena in Bucharest. Have you been there? I've been there. Have you been there?
I've been to Bucharest once, yes, and it's known, I don't know whether this is an omen, it's known as Petit Paris, Bruce.
Bucharest is?
Yeah, Bucharest, Little Paris. Will the French feel at home this evening?
What I was going to say about it, it reminds me a little bit of Rostov, where you and I were in Russia a few years ago, which had a bit of a sort of big top circus type feel to it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
no, I'm with you, yes. I mean, it's a fantastic stadium, isn't it? Wonderful place to play your football. Nice atmosphere.
Here we go then. Team lineups, as Julien Laurent was explaining, and as was much heralded ahead of this game. Lucas Hernandez is only on the bench. Luca Digne is unfit. 2 first-choice left-backs are out for France, so they've gone for the back 3. And Adrien Rabiot, we think, is going to play as the left wing-back in this system. Hugo Lloris in goal, winning his 129th cap for France, his 104th as captain. Raphael Varane, Clement Lenglet comes into this back 3. His first appearance of the tournament for the Barcelona defender, and Presnel Kimpembe on the left-hand side. Wing-backs are Pavard and Rabiot, N'Golo Kante and Paul Pogba in central midfield, and then this formidable front 3, Les Trois. Antoine Griezmann, Kylian Mbappe, still looking for his first goal of the tournament, and Karim Benzema.
Yeah.
And Benzema, who got the 2 goals against Portugal, won from the penalty spot. Switzerland unchanged after the win against Turkey. Xherdan Shaqiri, always the man to look out for in the major tournament, scored 2 in that game. Jan Sommer of Borussia Mönchengladbach in goal. they're actually matching up really system for system. Nico Elvedi, Manuel Akanji and Ricardo Rodriguez as their three centre-backs. Sylvain Widmer, the right wing back, Steven Zuber of Frankfurt on the left-hand side. Granit Xhaka, one of the players who's got to be careful tonight. He's on a yellow card, picks another one up in this game, and he will miss a quarter-final against Spain if Switzerland can get through. He plays alongside Remo Freuler of Atalanta, Shaqiri in behind Bril Embolo and Haris Seferovic. The challenge for Switzerland is enormous. France are unbeaten in their last 19 competitive internationals. It is just one defeat in their last 17 games at major tournaments. That was the Euro 2016 final at home against Portugal. And they've reached, in the last 12 major tournaments, 5 finals. Chris, it will be a massive shock if Switzerland knock France out tonight.
It would be an enormous shock, wouldn't it? You know, France, but they haven't really got going just yet. They've been a little bit flat. They haven't been the flamboyant French team as we've seen in previous competitions, but this is the business end of the competition now, where France normally do step up a gear.
So we're underway in Bucharest. Bril Embolo for Switzerland, wide on the left-hand side. A real sort of distinction between the two teams in terms of the colours, because Switzerland are bright white. They could be playing at Wimbledon in those whites. White shirts, white shorts, white socks, red numbers on the backs, and France in the familiar rich dark blue, white numbers on the backs of the shirts and bright red socks. Griezmann plays the ball to Mbappe. Let's see if he can turn on the burners early on. Little step over, heading for the byline on the left-hand side. Switzerland crowd players around him to try and keep him away from the danger zone. Griezmann just prompts a little ball down the left. Rabiot straight back to him. Griezmann's cross is blocked. It spins high in the air and it goes behind 4. Let's wait and see. France appealing for a corner. Switzerland saying it was a throw. What are you saying, Chris Sutton? Or are you going to sensibly wait and see?
It looks like a corner. That means it's probably a throw.
It's a corner,
isn't it? It's Griezmann to take it.
And they're all lined up. The love train for France as the ball comes in, headed over the crossbar by Varane. Early chance, couldn't keep the header down, made the run to the near post, and it goes flashing behind for a goal kick. Following this evening, Croatia 3, Spain 5. And I know, Chris, you and I would like to have a very quick word for Oyarzabal, who scored for Spain this evening.
Bigfoot, yeah, Bigfoot getting the 5th goal. Great moment. Very useful, big feet at times. Just seeing this corner again. Mbappe offset plays, which is probably a good thing. Great delivery from Griezmann. Varane gets up level with the near post, 6 yards out. Can't get the header on target. Goes well over the bar. Kimpembe just took a knock as the corner was coming in. A little collision there, and he's hobbling back into position.
Just to explain Bigfoot very quickly, 5 foot 9 inches tall, size 13 feet, which amused us both. And in the game we did, the Spain-Slovakia game, there was a cross that came right across the face of goal, and he couldn't get his toe on it, could he? He actually needed bigger feet, remarkably. 0-0, France against Switzerland. 2.5 minutes played in Bucharest. Winner of this one goes through to a quarter-final on Friday at 5 o'clock in St. Petersburg against Spain. Switzerland have the ball inside their own half. Xhaka swings a right foot at it. Long one for Embolo to chase. Seferovic, his strike partner, is there. Does well to flick the ball back to Embolo. Tries to control it inside the penalty area. France get bodies in there. Kimpembe's one of them. Laid off to Shaqiri. His first touch of the game. Little squat figure curling the ball into the far post. Headed away by Pavard. And behind for a corner to Switzerland. They will not be pushovers, Switzerland.
Absolutely not. And it's important, or it is important, that Seferovic and Embolo link up, and they did that to good effect in the right-hand channel. Ball played back to the edge of the box, and Shaqiri, twisting and turning, puts a good ball in at the far post, but Pavard took no chances, headed it behind.
3.5 minutes played, 0-0. Rodriguez with the corner, good delivery, headed straight up in the air by Elvedi. Pogba, little touch with his right foot inside his own penalty area, tries to curl a pass down the left for Rabiot, couldn't keep it in play, and it goes out for a throw-in to Switzerland. So it's a test for the world champions tonight, Chris, because they're slightly reduced and they've had to change things around.
Yes, they have, and the early signs are that they've set up with 2 centre forwards, Benzema and Mbappe. Is Griezmann just playing in that number 10 role behind them, Pogba and Kante anchoring that midfield.
Right, here's Mbappe on the right-hand side. Scary times for the Swiss. Xhaka desperately trying to keep up with him. It's hard to do. 3 white shirts around him. Holds them all off. Controls it. Plays it back to Pogba. Gently strokes it into the path of Kante. Brings it forward and then rolls a pass to the left-hand side. Benzema, rather awkward touch on the edge of the box. Bursts into a little bit of space. Low cut back into the near post. Rodriguez blocks it. And it's cleared away towards the halfway line.
It's good from Benzema. Left-hand side of the box. A little bit clumsy with his first touch, but then got away from Elvedi to the byline, pulled the ball back across, but Mbappe on his heels in the centre of the goal. Needed to anticipate that cross.
Pogba playing the ball back to Varane, so you can very clearly see here France in possession inside their own half. The 3 centre-backs lined up. Varane on the right, Longley in for his first game of the tournament in the middle wearing number 5, Kimpembe on the left. Little 1-2 between Mbappe and Griezmann. First time ball from Griezmann, finds Mbappe, awkward one to control. The Swiss sort of half-hearted appeals for handball, cross in from Griezmann, reaches Benzema, controls it with his chest, comes back to Pogba, and the driven shot is blocked by the shins of Rodriguez. The ball goes high in the air, Kante controls it, and France will attack down the right.
Yeah, decent start from France, playing with good energy, good tempo. Tell you, I think it was Zuba who got back there really well as the cross came in from Griezmann all the way through to Benzema, who took a touch on his chest. And the ball bounced down, looked like Benzema was going to get a strike in, but Zuba back, read the situation very, very well.
Xhaka plays back to his goalkeeper, Jan Sommer, all in light green. Back to Xhaka. Ball spins up off his left foot, he controls it a second time, plays the ball into central midfield to his midfield partner Freuler. Layoff back to Freuler, and Rodriguez has got well forward here down the left, curling ball in. Kimpembe, a slight miscue on the clearance. Longley's there to help, scoops it away with his right foot. Griezmann with fantastic control, holds off Xhaka, plays it to Rabiot, and Rabiot hands over to the quick fella, Mbappe at full speed, down the left-hand side, cutting into the edge of the penalty area, trying to line up a right-footed shot. He's half stopped, still has it, another step over, cross comes in, looking for Benzema at the far post, and Akanji volleys it behind. Mbappe's in the mood, Chris.
Yeah, lively start from Kylian Mbappe on that left-hand side. He likes to drift, or he has liked to drift out in the early stages. As soon as he gets on the ball, you see Swiss players doubling, trying to treble up on him, but he manages to manoeuvre the ball and get a cross in. Great quick feet, little step over, and the ball put behind for a corner.
And as you said last time, Mbappe's now in the penalty area waiting for the delivery of the set piece. Griezmann with the long flowing ponytail, not the best from him. Seferovic heads it away. Xhaka, Shaqiri, I beg your pardon, hooks it over his right shoulder to clear. Kimpembe, bouncing ball, wins the header and nods it out for a throw into Switzerland on the left-hand side. Wimbledon coverage continues on 5 Live Sports Extra at the moment. Last we heard Andy Murray on his return, first time on the courts competitively since 2017, was 2 sets up against the Georgian Nicolas Basilashvili. And Wimbledon back on air tomorrow from midday on BBC Radio 5 Live with Tony Livesey and Gigi Salmon. Good pace from Embolo. Varane's got problems here. Varane bumps into him, and Embolo leaves the ball, says it's a corner, and the referee, who's an Argentine, Fernando Rapalini, agrees and says corner to Switzerland. It's 0-0.
Yeah, Embolo, left-hand channel, just pushes the ball. A little nutmeg on Varane, gets the other side. It does come off Varane. Varane saying the last touch came off Embolo. It certainly didn't, and France have some defending to do.
Whistle blows. Ricardo Rodriguez, chest heaving, deep breaths, curls it in with his left foot. Good leap from Varane, really acrobatic to head it away and out for a throw. Embolo, goal-scoring record for club and country is not amazing. He is a handful. He's strong, he's quick, he's powerful, he's skillful as well. And he actually appeared at the last Euro, so 5 years ago, as a 19-year-old, 24 now, and already closing in on 50 caps for Switzerland. Xhaka winning his 98th cap, plays the ball down the left. Zuba just tries to poke one through to Seferovic. This will reach Embolo. Edge of the box, tried to slide in Seferovic, comes back to Embolo from the block. Sees Rodriguez coming up fast behind him. Back to Embolo, to Xhaka. About 40 yards from the French goal in a central position. France 0, Switzerland 0. Zuber on the turn, gets away from Kante. Still Zuber being forced to his right. Pogba's there to try and get a toe in. Pogba thought he'd won it against Freuler. Freuler plays a little 1-2 with Widmer. Freuler's crossing beyond Lloris, right across the face of goal. And out for a throw into France in their right-back position. 9 minutes played in Bucharest. France 0, Switzerland 0.
Really good from the Swiss. Ball being popped out to the right-hand side, and a brilliant ball in from Freuler. Has a little look. And Seferovic on his heels in the middle. Had a great season he has for Benfica, 26 goals. I think I described him as a cart horse in Russia. A good cart horse, though.
He's much maligned, actually. I remember watching him against Northern Ireland. I think in the playoffs to get to Russia, he was getting booed by his own fans, basically, because they don't have much faith in him. He did score in the win against Turkey, and he's out there starting again tonight. France 0, Switzerland 0. I hope you didn't miss the first game this afternoon. Incredible drama. It finished Croatia 3, Spain 5 in Copenhagen. Spain were leading 3-1 with about 5 minutes to play, conceded 2, and then eventually got a grip of it in that first period of extra time. So they've scored 5 goals in their last 2 games, and they will meet the winners of this last 16 game. And at the moment, France are playing possession football just inside the Swiss half. The ball is back with Longley in a central position. Shaqiri runs towards him. Longley rolls a pass to his right to Varane. Varane with his left foot plays back to Longley. Longley across to Kimpembe, just under a little bit of pressure from Seferovic. Lets it run across him. Nice ball forward down the left-hand side. Rabiot unable to release Mbappe on the left, who's appeared wide left and wide right already early on in this game and had a couple of good runs at the Swiss defence. Pogba trying to win it back from Mbolo, was just taking a little bit too long, but got his pass away just in time, and it's back with Manuel Akanji, Borussia Dortmund central defender. In the middle of this back three as well for Switzerland. Xhaka comes lolloping towards him.
Xhaka just dropping in at times to make it a back three, with Rodriguez going up on the left-hand side.
Loose from Mbolo's giving it away. Griezmann to Mbappe trying to find Benzema. Couldn't quite take it in his stride. He was in the inside left channel running into the penalty area, and it just got away from him. Danger for Switzerland. Widmer on the turn, blocked by Griezmann, and the ball behind for a Swiss goal kick. Bit sloppy from Mbolo.
Yeah, and sloppy from Mbappe. And they turned the ball over, the Swiss. Mbappe, left-hand side of the box. Really careless with the pass. An easy pass inside to Benzema and missed him.
Seferovic, Switzerland's number 9, does a good job there. Holds his man off, plays the ball back, keeps possession for the Swiss. Rodriguez across to Zuber, back to Rodriguez. Zuber again. France with the press, just forcing Switzerland back. And you can see as Pogba's running up the pitch, he's waving Benzema and Mbappe forward as well. 12 minutes gone in the first half. France 0, Switzerland 0. And as John Murray was saying, by this time tomorrow, England, Germany will have played out at Wembley.
Could still be on penalties, Bruce.
At 10 past 8.
Yeah, keep going.
Having kicked off at 5.
Could be one of those nights.
25 all on penalties as Pickford steps up for his,
Pickford, yeah,
for his third.
Little Pickford.
Build-up starts at 3:30 with Mark Chapman, John Murray and Chris Waddle. Karen Carney and Micah Richards part of the coverage as well, and I'm presuming 6:06 off the back with you and Mr. Savage.
Comes on at 3 o'clock in the morning, I think.
France have it inside their own penalty area. Hugo Lloris yet to be tested. Kimpembe, who's a player like plenty of them now in the tournament, has the socks sort of half rolled down, exposing the calf muscle. Shin pads just
is that a look you like, Bruce?
It would suit me, Chris, I think, for a sort of chunkier, stocky leg, I think. There he is, Pogba now. Thought about the pass over the top. Goes low to his left-hand side. Rabiot in this unfamiliar left wing-back position. Griezmann chips one forward. I was going to say a hopeful ball, but then you see who's after it, and Mbappe just turns it into a good ball. Catches it, controls it. Elvedi just pushing him and hassling him as Mbappe comes back down the right-hand side into midfield. Here's Longley, bit of pace on that. Oh, Griezmann lets it run through his legs. Was hoping either Rabiot or Mbappe would be there. Neither of them on the same wavelength, and it's gone behind for the goal kick. France 0, Switzerland 0, 14 minutes played in the first half. Talking 606, have you ever heard 6 love 6, which is the tennis equivalent?
Oh, go on.
That happens during Wimbledon. And
Okay.
John McEnroe and Tim Henman take the calls. So this year it's going to happen each Thursday. So Thursday this week, Thursday next week. And I'm just imagining you and McEnroe possibly on a phone-in.
You can't be serious.
Free kick given away by Kimpembe inside his own half.
Be a good quiz, that, wouldn't it? A head-to-head Henman against McEnroe, wouldn't it?
What, on tennis, sort of sudden death?
Oh, wow.
A Wimbledon sudden death, possibly. We could suggest it. Here's Seferovic on the turn. Right-footed shot is blocked. It runs to Zuba. Zuba with a step over, left edge of the box. Floats the cross in, and header is low and in! It's Seferovic who's got up and beaten Hugo Lloris, and the world champions are behind. 15 minutes played. Seferovic goes running towards the Swiss fans, makes the little shape of a heart with his hands. He climbed quite brilliantly. He's nodded the header in, and have we got a massive shock on our hands in Bucharest? It's France 0, Switzerland 1.
Well, this is a terrific header from the big cart horse. Gets up superbly. He bullies Longley, the French centre-half. Just nudges him at first, puts him out of the game, and then powers the header. And it's not an easy header, this, because the ball is stabbed up. Good little shift from Zuba. He's a right footer, but shifts onto his left foot, and he just nudges Longley out of the way and then steadies himself and powers the ball. It's a textbook header back across the goalkeeper into the far corner. No chance for Lloris. It's so accurate and gets the power. It curls into the corner. Must be 10, 12 yards out. A wonderful header. And the Swiss,
Well,
take the lead.
they're ahead in Bucharest. France have now gone behind in their last 3 games in the tournament. 1-0 down against Hungary, got it back to 1-1. 1-0 down against Portugal, that one finished 2-2. If this one obviously finishes as a draw, we're heading all the way to penalties this evening. Harris, Seferovic, and Chris, being deadly serious here, you will have a great appreciation, because that is, you know what you're talking about there in terms of those types of header. That must be...
I could use my feet as well occasionally, Bruce, but I know what you're getting at there. It's such a difficult header. He's clever, really sharp in his mind. What he's trying to do, first of all, just leaning into Longley, getting him out of the way, and then setting himself. And he knows what he wants to do, but you have to get that header perfect, and he got it absolutely bang on. And now France, they're in a bit of trouble. Early days.
Yeah, goal behind and immediately on the attack. Every outfield player inside the Swiss half. Pogba with a floated right-footed pass to the left, controlled on the thigh by Rabiot. Kante is there wide on the left-hand side. Griezmann takes the ball infield. He's caught, and that will be a free kick to France, possibly a little too far out for a strike on goal in the inside left channel, but certainly a set piece for the Swiss to defend. 17.5 minutes played. As things stand, long way to go. It would be Switzerland against Spain in St. Petersburg in the quarter-finals on Friday. Switzerland have not won a knockout game at a major tournament since 1954, when they made the quarter-finals of the World Cup in their own country, and they won a playoff game against Italy to get through to those quarter-finals. They're leading 1-0. Griezmann with the free kick, headed away by Alvedi, and chased by Mbolo into the left-back position. Down the line he goes, looking for Zuba, whose cross has created the opening goal in this game. Kimpembe breathing down his neck. Zuba trying to turn away. Kimpembe gets a foot on it, and it goes behind for the goal kick. Here's a question for you. So Switzerland make the quarter-finals in 1954. They then lose to Austria. Have a guess at the score. What the score was against Austria. Just have a guess.
How do I know, Bruce?
It's obviously crazy.
5-5.
7-5.
I was going to say 7-5.
Austria, well, if they lost, it wouldn't have been 5-5, would it?
Penalties.
Austria won 7-5.
That's a good point.
And then lost 6-1 to West Germany in the semi-finals. I mean, crazy times. Back in the 50s. Switzerland looking for what would be, you'd have to say, one of the greatest results in their history if they can beat the world champions.
Yeah, I mean, name a greater one.
I can't. And they're on the ball now, right-footed, down the line for Vidma, way beyond him, and Hugo Lloris is able to catch the ball on the second bounce inside his penalty area. France have plenty of time to get back in the game.
Yes, they do, and just you know, touching on the goal as well, Zuber, and the ball in from Zuber, really intelligent play from him because he's a right footer, he's playing on the left-hand side. Always gives the defender something to think about when he shifted the ball onto his weaker left foot. I think it was Pavard out with him, trying to shut him down, but just got that little half yard and stabbed the ball up into the air. But what a finish from Seferovic.
France nil, Switzerland 1. Worried looking French fan, little girl with the tricolour painted on either cheek, but she will know well, I'm sure she's been told, that this is a pretty useful team who will have been in this situation now and again in recent years under Didier Deschamps and pulled through. Steven Zuber didn't start the first 2 games of this competition, by the way, for Switzerland. And here they come again down the right-hand side. Vidma is taking on Rabiot. Rabiot gets a foot in, actually didn't touch the ball, just blocks him off and it goes behind for a goal kick. But in the first couple of games, Chris, Fabian Schär was starting in a back 3 and Rodriguez was playing as the left wing-back. Changed it for the last game, kept with that today, and that's worked brilliantly.
Yeah, it's an interesting call, and just seeing the header again, stunning header. And on the right-hand side, you just mentioned him, Vidmar and Barbu started the first game, so a change there as well. And Vidmar, a couple of days ago, saying that he's convinced he'll be able to stop Mbappe. Heard that before.
Akanji. Switzerland playing with real confidence, and space is opening up for them. They're leading 1-0. Xhaka's trying to feed one through to Zuber. Pavard read it, intercepts. He's on the run inside his own half. Lays it off to Pogba. Pogba clips a right-footed ball. What a ball as well. And Mbappe controls it. Elvedi with a foot in and takes it off. It might have been offside.
Yeah, I think he was offside, but I tell you, early stages, Elvedi's done really well in those 1v1 situations. Doesn't need to go early, does he? Mbappe, Pogba and Mbappe have had such a good relationship in this competition so far, but Elvedi got back anyway.
Next break in play, we'll get you your latest on Andy Murray at Wimbledon. Commentary of the championships continues on 5 Live Sports Extra. France nil, Switzerland 1 here in the last 16 in Bucharest. Pogba under pressure, clever back heel to Pavard. Pavard to Benzema, back to Kante, across to Griezmann, inside the centre circle. France have been stung and they're responding. And coming forward down the left-hand side with Rabiot. Rabiot takes it up to the edge of the area. Plays back to Griezmann. Griezmann looking for a blue shirt in space. And Mbappe makes a little dart down the left-hand side. Back to Rabiot. Rabiot in the box. Cross comes in and it's flicked away from Benzema, who thought he was going to head it into an empty net. And it's gone out for a throw-in on the right wing for France. Russell Fuller's at Wimbledon.
Andy Murray, 2 sets up on Nicolas Basilashvili, led the third set by 5 games to love, but he's lost 4 games in a row, serving for a place in the second round for a 3rd time now, Alistair, at 5-4.
Thank you, Russell. Rabiot's cross, it was Jan Sommer, Chris, who got the fingertips on it.
Little fingertip to it, because Benzema would have had the easiest of finishes. Well worked down that French left-hand side.
Commentary of the Wimbledon action over on 5 Live Sports Extra. Freuler challenges Mbappe shoulder to shoulder and wins a throw-in.
Yeah, we don't know whether with Mbappe his dive the other night.
Poor.
Yeah, you just wonder now, is it in the referee's mind? The boy who cried wolf.
Throw in Switzerland, midway through the first half, a quarter of the way through this game, if it only lasts 90 minutes, and they lead the world champions France by a goal to nil, having never beaten them in a competitive international. Xhaka is fouled just inside the French half. French looking ever so slightly rattled. Didier Deschamps been up for the first time, hasn't he, and had a little word.
Yeah, and they look flustered, but credit the Swiss. You know, they have their set-up, the 3 at the back, but the wing-backs push up the field, don't they? They play an expansive brand of football. I know they've got 2 central strikers, but they play out from the back. They're very brave on the ball, good technicians. There they go again, linking up well.
Oh, Shaqiri very nearly fired one through to Seferovic. It was well read by Longley and intercepted. Kante.
Yeah, that was miracle stuff, though, that, expecting Seferovic to outpace, I think it was Kimpembe.
Miracles can happen, though, Chris, sometimes.
Well, not when you're that slow.
Griezmann on the turn inside the Swiss half, left-hand side. Kante's quite well forward ahead of him here. Griezmann is able to trot forward. Freuler backs off, plays it to his left to Rabiot. France 0, Switzerland 1 after Croatia 3, Spain 5 in the first commentary on 5 Live and BBC Sounds this afternoon. 2 more games tomorrow. England, Germany from Wembley at 5. Build-up starts at 3:30 on 5 Live with Mark Chapman presenting. Here's Rabiot, just nudged off it on the edge of the Swiss box. Pogba with his right foot across to Griezmann. Griezmann wide to Kante. 3 blue shirts inside the Swiss penalty area. Griezmann tries to poke one through. Rabiot appeals for handball. Free kick 1, 25 yards out.
Was that a bit harsh? I think it was. Like to see it again, but Freuler, it was, who was penalised with the free kick. Rabiot is a yard or 2 against him, his arm by his side. I mean, that's a ridiculous award of a free kick. France get away with that.
But also
hits him on the stomach first.
Yeah, and exactly, Chris. And the point I was going to make about that is, if an incident like that leads to a goal, not from a free kick, but in open play, if it hits your chest first, you won't see a penalty get given. Yet here, France have been given a free kick in a dangerous position. I think you're right. I think that's harsh.
And Mbappe is over this. A lot of criticism for Mbappe for his set pieces. Griezmann as well, but I suppose with Mbappe's record so far in this tournament, we're thinking, mind the windows, Bruce.
How do you say that in French, Chris?
Yeah, you're the...
Attention aux fenêtres, peut-être? Je sais pas. Mbappe, I think it will be, with the right foot into the wall. And back to him, drives it low. Oh, fizzing wide. Wasn't sure for a second there. I don't think Jan Sommer was either. He caught that on the half volley, absolutely zipped it at goal, and it's gone behind for the goal kick. 26 minutes played. Let's just see how close that was on the rebound.
Oh, miles wide. Come on, they were... I mean, the first effort was awful. The wall jumped. The ball bounces back and he hits it on the half volley. And that's a good 20 yards.
No,
what, 22 yards wide of the left-hand post.
26 minutes gone in the first half. Big shock on the cards at the moment. France 0, Switzerland 1. Xhaka, oh, space for Zuba. Running at the French defenders. Rodriguez in support on the left-hand side. Good 1-2. Zuba with the cross. Blocked by Kante. Corner won by Switzerland.
That's your left centre-half going high up the pitch. Rodriguez, of course, can play left-back, left wing-back. And he goes forward. They're going for it. The Swiss, they're not sitting back. They want that second. Little give and go from Zuba.
Was it offside? I thought he'd gone behind for a corner. I think an offside flag might have gone up, which is why France have the ball, unless we just didn't see the corner, but I think that's unlikely. Here's Pogba. Pogba with his right foot, through the middle to Benzema, controls it on his heel, tries to turn. Akanji deals with him, plays it back to Elvedi. Elvedi clears with his right foot, only as far as Kimpembe inside the Swiss half. Quickly gives it to Rabiot. Rabiot darts forward into a little gap, chased by Shaqiri, who just sort of tentatively puts a left arm out to try and stop him. Mbappe's cross, not the best, cleared by Akanji. Straight to Longley, across to Varane. 10 yards inside the Swiss half, looks to his right, nothing there. Comes back to Longley in the centre circle and across to Kimpembe. Kante closed down. Swiss now pressing. France in possession. They're forced back into their own half. They're trailing Switzerland by 1-0. England, Germany, full commentary. 5 o'clock live from Wembley tomorrow. Sweden, Ukraine, our 8 o'clock game live from Hampden. Driven shot by Rabiot, goes wide. Again, at real pace. Sommer threw himself to his left-hand side. Rabiot striking from distance, but they're yet to get the effort on target.
He's becoming more and more prominent, Rabiot. That's not far away, that. He's 25 yards out. Puts his laces through the ball, and that, all sorts of movement on it, and that fizzes past the left-hand post.
28 minutes played in the first half. France 0, Switzerland 1. Switzerland with Akanji. Little 1-2 with Xhaka. Ooh, Benzema trying to close him down. Akanji had to be careful.
Good composure from Akanji.
Rodriguez has a great engine down that left-hand side, winning his 85th cap this evening. Ball played to Vidma. Vidma just steps away from Griezmann. Shaqiri comes a little deeper to take control of things for Switzerland. Back to Xhaka. This is inside the French half. Rodriguez, left-footed ball out wide to Zuba. Zuba's one-on-one against Varane, tries to beat him on the outside. Varane gets a foot in. Zuba keeps it in play, down by that byline. Moves away from Varane, back to Rodriguez, into the feet of Xhaka, now Mbolo. Mbolo turns. 3 blue shirts around him. Switzerland playing well here this evening. Rodriguez, ball back to the halfway line. Akanji thought about going back to his goalkeeper Sommer, decides not to do that.
The ball very well, aren't they? Zuba's been good. Not a regular at club level. Eintracht Frankfurt this season. Couldn't tell with his performance so far in this tournament.
Shaqiri's made a run. Zuba didn't use him. Zuba's foul.
He's going in the book here.
Free kick for Switzerland. And while we wait for that to be taken, quickly to Russell Fuller at Wimbledon.
Andy Murray led 5-love, and by 2 sets to love, he's been broken 3 times in a row. Nicolas Basilashvili can't miss. He's levelled the 3rd set at 5 games all.
Commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra. Raphael Varane is in the book, but he's not one of those French players on a yellow card in the tournament.
Reckless from Raphael there.
Dangerous as well.
Yeah, it is dangerous. Really wild challenge. Daft challenge. Puts his team under pressure.
Xherdan Shaqiri has just hoisted up the left-hand side of his shorts to reveal a very muscular thigh muscle. He has. And curls that ball in with his left foot. Oh, delivery headed wide by Mbolo. Edge of the 6-yard box. Mbolo looks to the heavens. Should have probably got that on target.
Well, no, Mbolo. The delivery is brilliant. It's whipped in with pace across the 6-yard line. Kimpembe not even looking at the ball. Mbolo is, and he sees it all the way. Just misjudges the flight of the ball. And he heads it well wide, but should be doing better there. Gets it on target there, Bruce. Lloris wouldn't have stood a chance, would he?
Would have been 2-0, and then we really would have had a story in our hands. As it is, though, Switzerland leading. France by a 1-0. The Seferovic header early on in the game. The highlights on the BBC tonight will be well worth a watch. 11 o'clock this evening on BBC One. Griezmann fouled, advantage played. Rabiot into the penalty area. Terrible first touch. It's gone straight behind for a goal kick.
That was rotten from Rabiot. I just wonder whether the referee will go back and make a booking. Pull out a card for Elvedi. It was a wonderful touch from the Petit Prince. Antoine Griezmann. Little deflection into the pass of the marauding Rabiot. And drives into the box, Rabiot, but yeah, such a heavy touch. He's far better than that normally, and there's the yellow card given to Elvedi. Now, he's put himself under big pressure, hasn't he? With Mbappe pulling to that side, peeling into that channel a lot. I mean, if you're France, you're thinking, let's try and expose him now.
France with Pogba inside the Swiss half. Heavy challenge from Rodriguez comes in. Benzema holds him off. Pogba, nice ball. Well, I say nice ball, it's beyond Pavard. Well,
that wasn't nice, it went straight out.
Nice idea.
It'd been nice when you played football back in...
Pavard couldn't catch it. Funny enough, again...
Playing to try and defend throw-ins.
Right wing, Chris, so I told you was my position. So what Pavard was trying to do there?
Play it out of touch and then pen them in. I see the idea.
13 minutes left in the first half. France trailing Switzerland by a 1-0. Headed out by Elvedi. Great first touch from Seferovic.
They're linking up so well, aren't they? Mbolo and Seferovic.
Oh, Pogba's got to be a booking.
He's got to go in the book here.
Crashing into Mbolo, is getting away from him.
He's done the old classic.
Come on, ref.
I'll pick him up. That's what he's done. Mbolo does well, he cuts across him. I mean, that's ridiculous from the referee.
He's not carded him. That was a definite carte jaune, Chris, if the referee's getting it right. Shaqiri plays the ball back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez drives a crossfield ball with his left foot out to the right wing. Again, lovely layout from Vidma to Seferovic. Played back into the Swiss half and Elvedi. 12 minutes remaining in the first half. France 0, Switzerland 1. Extra time and penalties if needs be this evening.
And they're so comfortable in possession, the Swiss are. Got the formation, the way of playing. The centre forwards have done very well. They play very close together. They've linked up on numerous occasions. Shaqiri just in the pocket behind.
Again going for the diagonal, Rodriguez. Vidma controls the bouncing ball with his head.
Free kick.
Kimpembe blocks him.
Come on.
Vidma headed it past him.
Come on, ref.
And Kimpembe just stood in the way.
That's obstruction, Bruce.
I think so. Rabiot plays it up the left-hand touchline. Kante does well to win a header. Kimpembe to Griezmann. Nice build-up play inside the French half. Brilliant from Mbappe. Plays it to Kante, stretches to keep it in. And then with the drag back, it actually goes out of play for a throw into Switzerland on the right. France 0, Switzerland 1.
And Mbappe cutting a frustrated figure. Hasn't quite happened for him in this tournament so far.
Vladimir Petkovic's tie is square at the bottom. So either someone's had a little gag there, or that's the fashion, Chris. It looks like someone's had a go with the
square
with the scissors.
Tie,
Do you know what I mean? It's not got the V shape at the bottom. It's a straight finish. Shaqiri's complaining he should have had a free kick. Didier Deschamps, who is in various shades of blue this evening, no tie for him. Dark blue shirt under a slightly lighter blue suit. Ball played to Pavard, his right back. Chris and I watched him score. Well, he actually won the goal of the tournament in Kazan.
We were right behind it.
Oh, right foot half volley from Pavard against Argentina in a 4-3. That's a foul on Rabiot. Midway inside the Swiss half. France 0, Switzerland 1. Winners play Spain in the quarterfinals. Griezmann dummies the shot on the edge of the box. Right-footed cross into the far post. Here comes Pavard. Zuba tracked the run, heads it behind for a corner to France. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, little clap from Rodriguez to Zuba for tracking back. He has worked tirelessly down that Swiss left-hand side. Been good going forward, but really disciplined defensively. Can France produce something from this corner? Griezmann on it again.
Griezmann will take this one from the right in towards the near post. Pogba actually leaps over the ball, hoping a teammate might get on the end of it. Switzerland have cleared. Shaqiri on the dribble. Pavard sticks with him, tackles him, and it's out for a throw-in. As I was saying at the start of the game, Switzerland, this is their 4th consecutive tournament that they've reached the last 16, and all the games, the 3 previous defeats have been really tight. They've always given a good account of themselves. World Cup 2014, lost to Argentina after extra time. Euro 2016, they lost to Poland on penalties. And at the World Cup in Russia, went down 1-0 to Sweden. Can they change that this evening? Now then, something's happening on the pitch. Rodriguez has been stopped from taking a throw. We can't actually see what's going on at the moment. I'm presuming a pitch intruder, possibly scantily clad, but we don't know, Chris, so let's not speculate.
Why did you say it then?
Tell me something interesting you've learned about Switzerland today.
Well, I'll tell you something we've learned from the technical area, that Didier Deschamps is a worried man. His team are under enormous pressure. Both coaches giving advice to certain members of their teams, but if you're a member of the Swiss team at this moment in time, it's been a perfect start, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It really has been.
It's taken a while to sort things out here, so we're going to get a replay of the goal. Didn't you tell me today Velcro was invented in Switzerland?
Yeah. And the bobsleigh.
The bobsleigh,
the
okay,
bobsleigh,
good.
And we know this, but it's wonderful. Muesli was invented. Maximilian Bircher Benner
invented muesli. Did he? Do you know when?
I'm a big fan.
Do you know when? I love a bowl of muesli, Chris. Absolutely love it. Do you know when he did that?
Well, a while ago now.
7 minutes left, first
lovely,
half.
Isn't it?
Oh yeah. I like to mix it with another cereal though, Chris. I like to use it as a base.
No, but that's...
And then put something else
You can't do that, can you?
Love it. Love a double cereal.
Well, go on.
Well, a little Weetabix in there. Or some Crunchy Nut cornflakes on top.
Just get a soggy Weetabix in there.
Kante.
It's not the same, Bruce, is it?
I like it. Varane across the long lane.
Who does that?
7 minutes remaining in the first half. Mbappe, good first touch with the outside of his right foot. Rabiot's cross in, Akanji stretches and clears on the volley. And Switzerland at the moment keeping the French at bay.
Just imagine you, little hotel in Zurich, down at breakfast with all the locals, putting a Weetabix in your muesli.
Could be thrown out.
Imagine the Swiss reaction.
Pogba.
Dear me.
Pogba, so easy to spot with this bright blonde stripe in his dark hair. You can't really see from a distance the blue splodge at the front. Here's Kante, his midfield partner.
He's been quiet, hasn't he?
He has.
By his standards. He's normally prominent running the game.
Pogba plays wide left. Kimpembe's forward in the left wing position at the moment. Lots of movement off the ball here. Pogba looking to find Benzema. Pass is cut out. Xhaka plays it to his right. And Bolo takes it inside Longley. Chance for the Swiss on the counter-attack late in the first half. Seferovic is there wide on the left. Support from Zuba. France 0, Switzerland 1. Xhaka controls the ball with his right foot. Cross to Vidma. Down the line to Shaqiri. Shaqiri closed down by Longley. Switzerland keep it. Make France run. They come all the way back down the other end of the pitch and play it to goalkeeper Sommer.
They're a yard off it, though, the French, with their pressing. No real dynamism in there, not getting up to the ball, and the Swiss are playing round them with ease.
Shaqiri, floated ball to the left, pinpoint perfect onto the chest of Zuba. Zuba trying to turn away from Pavard. Stands him up, rolls it back to Rodriguez. The Swiss could find themselves a second goal here. Xhaka to his left, and they must feel that is possible for them here, that they possibly have the beating of France this evening. Xhaka to Mbolo, first touch, not good enough, gets away from him, and it's cleared in behind by Varane for a corner to Switzerland.
There's a better purpose to the Swiss passing, and the ball from Zuba fired into Xhaka. Quick touch with his right foot, left foot into Mbolo, left-hand side of the box, driving in and took a heavy touch. Varane aware and puts it behind.
Precision from the Swiss, they're known for it. 5 minutes left in the first half. Rodriguez, left-footed corner, headed over the bar by Akanji. Goes behind for a goal kick, back to Wimbledon. Russell Fuller.
Andy Murray has lost 7 games in a row. He was 2 sets and 5 love up on Nicolas Basilashvili. He's dropped the third set 7-5. It's gloomy. He looks shattered. I think they're about to shut the roof, which might give him a little bit of much-needed breathing space.
Commentary continues. 5 Live Sports Extra. Euro 2020 highlights tonight. BBC 1 at 11 o'clock. Today at Wimbledon, highlights of the tennis. BBC 2 actually already underway. 8:30 that went on air. Here's Griezmann with his left foot. France attacking late in the first half, trailing to the early Seferovic header. Winners of this game play Spain in the quarter-finals on Friday.
Everything is just so slow from the French, though. Not moving the ball anywhere quickly enough, and it allows the Swiss to get back into their shape.
Pogba chip ball to the left. At the moment, it looks like you're going to need a bit of magic from one of the superstars. Could be Mbappe. Griezmann flicks it to him. Here's Mbappe running at Swiss defenders. Step over. Edge of the box, then slipped as he hits the shot. Falls backwards. And the ball goes behind for a goal kick.
There's been, in this first half, there has been a couple of exquisite touches from Griezmann. Another one there. Left foot. Takes a touch with his left foot. Little back flick with his right foot. And Mbappe gets away from Freuler. Centre of the pitch. Just outside the box, and then he leans back and lifts the ball a long, long way over the bar. He's had a frustrating tournament.
2.5 minutes to play. Didier Deschamps is stomping back to his seat in the National Arena in Bucharest, which has that sort of circus big top feel to it, and it's the Swiss who are performing on the big stage at the moment. Pogba's fouled just inside his own half. Picks himself up with a very grumpy look on his face, takes the free kick short to Varane. Varane with his left foot across to Rabiot. Rabiot plays wide to Benzema, so Mbappe's in the middle and Benzema's wide left. Benzema pushes one back to Kante. Cross to Varane inside the centre circle to Pogba. Pogba in right midfield here. Granit Xhaka in front of him.
Yeah, I think they've tweaked the system, the French, with Kimpembe going to left back, that certainly fluid. And Rabiot moving into a more central area.
So going to a more familiar sort of 4-3-3. Two Swiss players down, play continues. Griezmann on the ball, Swiss fans booing. Back heel from Griezmann was a little bit casual. Rabiot didn't know it was coming. Great run from Mbolo, forced to the floor by Kimpembe. Had to make the challenge to stop him getting away. And that is a free kick for Switzerland. They are causing France all sorts of problems.
Well, the French are rattled. Interesting to hear what Julien Laurent makes of this performance at half-time, but the Swiss have been the much better team in this first half. Been slicker, and they're in possession of the ball. They've played very, very well, just popping the ball around now.
Shaqiri, little triangles here from Switzerland. That is excellent. Freuler, Shaqiri, Widmer just running the French around, and then Widmer eventually knocks it into the shins of Griezmann, and it goes out for a throw-in. They look just very comfortable, in control at the moment.
They look fitter, stronger, hungrier, and a worried look on Didier Deschamps' face. And he should be worried.
One defeat in the last 17 games at major tournaments, that against Portugal in the final of Euro 2016. The world champions in trouble. Griezmann looking for Mbappe, can't find him. Obviously, with the strength of the French squad, plenty of options to come from the bench, although Ousmane Dembele is one of those out injured. They have been hit by the injuries in this tournament. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half on another hugely dramatic day on 5 Live from Euro 2020. Croatia 3, Spain 5. Ball from Xhaka, driven hard to the right-hand side. First touch from Mbolo, runs at Kimpembe, tries to get him beyond him. Long-lace clearance, takes a deflection. Varane has to clear it on the volley. Griezmann's there on the edge of his own penalty area. Freuler backs off, and here's Kimpembe, takes it from Griezmann. Thought about a little sprint down the left, decided against it, checked back. Griezmann into midfield, finds Pogba. Back to Kante. Just over a minute left at the end of this first half. Kimpembe, left-footed pass down the line. Benzema's come deep. Ball back into central midfield. Kante slides one across to Mbappe. Ball spins up off his right boot. Makes a run, gives it to Pogba, wants it back. Pogba instead finds Griezmann. Griezmann 25 yards out, goes wide left to Benzema. Benzema trying to work it onto the right foot, gets the shot away. Elvedi blocks it. Rabiot wins the header, but also heads Mbolo hard, who's gone down holding his head. And quite rightly, immediately the referee stops the game and Mbolo needs treatment. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, it's a strong challenge, and Mbolo down, and I've got to say Mbolo's had an excellent first half. Rabiot has eyes on the ball as the ball pops up in the air, and so does Mbolo, but Rabiot wins the ball, and then his head clatters into Mbolo's head, and he's still down. He's up now, which is good news. Did well just a few moments earlier, right-hand side of the box, went past Kimpembe, who's in that left-back position now for the French. He's been all over the place, hasn't he, Kimpembe? He's not the only one. The French are a team of individuals so far tonight.
Not been at their most impressive so far during this tournament. Still managed to top Group F, but under pressure here, crucially, Switzerland scoring that first goal. The Seferovic header, which means France, second half, will have to come at them. Spaces will open up. But France, of course, have the players to produce something very special. And we saw Croatia with a remarkable comeback initially in the 90 minutes against Spain earlier on today, scoring 2 in the last 5 minutes. So stay where you are, stay tuned to 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Still plenty of drama to come, I'm sure. Widmer's ball with his left foot, out wide right to Mbolo. Mbolo, that is an awful cross with his right foot, balloons it away and out for a throw-in in the end, I think, in the right-back position for France. But I think the half-time whistle is going to blow any second here. Didier Deschamps has some thinking to do and some talking to do at half-time. There goes the half-time whistle in Bucharest, and Switzerland at the moment lead the world champions. Zuba's cross, Seferovic's header. If they win the game, they'll be through to a quarter-final against Spain. Chris, they've been the better team.
absolutely been the better team. The Swiss have really impressed. Terrific header from Seferovic to give them the lead, but the Swiss have controlled the first half. There hasn't been that French connection so far. Second half, they're going to have to liven themselves up. This is a big half-time team talk for Didier Deschamps.
Another thrilling day at Euro 2020. Half-time in Bucharest here on 5 Live. France 0, Switzerland 1.
Yeah, Chris, it's just the latest twist in a terrific tournament, really.
Oh, it is. And you know, Ali just said it. You know, he nailed it, did Bruce. The Swiss have been by far the better team. They have controlled the tempo of this game. They have been very brave with the way they've played, but they can handle the ball. The French seem to be miles off it at this moment in time. They're not getting up to the ball. They're not. Whether they thought this was going to be a stroll in the park for them, I don't know, but it's a massive 45 minutes for them. They look disjointed. There's been a couple of nice touches from Griezmann. We've heard about, you know, possible rifts in the camp, and Mbappe hasn't been himself in this tournament. You know, talk about Deschamps not being able to control him, Mbappe doing what he wants, but the French certainly aren't clicking at this moment in time. Whether there'll be changes at half-time, who knows, but there has to be a response from them. If not, they're going to be going home.
Tell you what, Chris, you're going to have to wait to hear what Julien Laurent thinks, because I'm looking at Zoom. It's just an empty attic room with a microphone. I think he's behind the sofa. He should be.
He should be.
He should be.
Absolutely. But I mean, all joking aside, this is a worrying performance. Now,
yes.
You know, said it before the start of the game. You know, it's okay. France haven't started the tournament and been at their flamboyant best, but you expect them, when it starts getting into the knockout stages, to start turning up and flexing their muscles and showing their authority. They haven't done that. They've got 45 minutes to rescue it.
Chris, Ali, thank you very much. Flat France, Switzerland lead by 1-0, and they have thoroughly deserved it. So as it stands, it will be they who go through to the quarter-finals of Euro 2020 to play Spain in St. Petersburg. It finished Spain 5, Croatia 3 earlier after extra time. But let's not forget, it's also the opening day of Wimbledon. And Wimbledon is never outdone. Andy Murray has been involved in an absolute thriller, and it is still going. David Law.
Yeah, we have drama to match you, I think, Steve, because Andy Murray led this match against Nicolas Basilashvili 6-4, 6-3, 5-love. He needed one more game to win in straight sets, and he lost the next 7 games. And he's now, having gone off the court because they've closed the roof to put the lights on, he's now got to come out and try to win another set of tennis, having been just a game away from victory. Quite an extraordinary series of events. His opponent looked as if he'd pretty much given up. Murray was just careering towards the finish line. He lost his way. His opponent got inspired. And now it's going into a 4th set. Annabelle Croft is watching this match with me. And Annabelle, what do you think? What's happened here?
Well, it was extraordinary, wasn't it? Because, as you said, he was completely commanding the match. And actually, I think we were just in awe of the sort of masterclass that he had put together to get into that lead. And we saw a little bit of everything. You know, the box of tricks that he has with all those stunning slices and mixes of pace, a lot of drop shots he used today. You know, I was marvelling at some of the backhands down the line. I mean, he hit some absolutely monstrous winners, which really brought the crowd to their feet. And he appeared to be moving pretty well. And then just as soon as, you know, there was just a little lifeline that went across to his opponent, Basilashvili, who we all thought had kind of given up the chase here, suddenly he ignited and he suddenly started to look more comfortable. He started to hit more balls in the court and he extended the rallies. And I think that was very key because, as we have to remind everyone, Andy Murray's playing with a metal hip now after the hip surgeries that he's had. And movement has been a little bit of a problem. And he did look utterly exhausted, pretty much emotionally exhausted, actually, I would think, after he dropped that 3rd set. And I think this may be good for him, David, the fact that he's been able to go off because they're going to put the lights on. He can freshen up. He may even have a shower. I don't know if they're allowed that, but you know, maybe he will just be invigorated when he comes back out again. But I'm sure psychologically he's in turmoil, having come so close to closing out this match.
Well, he's certainly going to need to reinvigorate, because Murray was 6-4, 6-3, 5-love up. He lost 7 games in a row, and he's going to come out for the 4th set very soon indeed. Meanwhile, Heather Watson is level up at 1 set all against Christiane. Watson, having won the first set, has just lost the second on a tie-break. And winners earlier today for Great Britain were Liam Brodie, who had a straight sets win over Marco Cecchinato. Katie Bolter with a good win as well. Jay Clark is level up at 1 set all against Igor Gerasimov. And we saw an excellent performance at the start of the day from the 19-year-old Jack Draper, who won the first set against the world number 1 Novak Djokovic before the twice Wimbledon champion, or rather the defending Wimbledon champion Djokovic, took over in that match. But all eyes on Andy Murray at the moment, who leads by 2-1, but he's got to win another set, Steve.
David, Annabelle, thank you very much. The guys will keep us up to date, but if you want the full commentary, you can listen to it now over on 5 Live Sports Extra. Before second half commentary in Bucharest, we're going to hear from the Lions camp. They've touched down in South Africa, led by new captain Conor Murray, and we will hear from the England captain Harry Kane as well. But we'll get the news first with Richard Foster.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Sajid Javid has told MPs he can see no reason why COVID restrictions in England shouldn't be lifted on the 19th of July. The new Health Secretary has been speaking in the Commons. He says the UK has to learn to live with the virus. Researchers say the AstraZeneca vaccine produces a stronger immune response if the second dose is delayed by as much as 10 months after the first. Theresa Lamb from Oxford University led the study and says it means the UK should send more jabs abroad.
There are so many countries around the world that haven't even had 1 dose yet. So that at the moment, I think those doses should go to countries where they haven't even had 1 dose. That picture may change as we come into winter, and perhaps we may see that these vaccines' effectiveness does need a boost. But at the moment, I don't think we're seeing that evidence.
6 people have been injured and several buildings evacuated after a fire caused a huge cloud of smoke above South London. Around 100 firefighters were called to railway arches near Elephant and Castle Station. It's since been brought under control. There's going to be a government investigation into how classified defence documents were found at a bus stop in Kent. The Defence Minister, Jeremy Quinn, has told MPs he's very sorry it happened. A senior official has had access to sensitive material temporarily suspended. There's been a spontaneous standing ovation on Centre Court to thank the scientists who developed coronavirus vaccines. Professor Sarah Gilbert, who's behind the AstraZeneca jab, was in the Royal Box just before play began. 5 Live's Jonathan Overend says it was an amazing moment.
There was the applause when it was announced that she was there, but then it was the moment 30 seconds later when the first person stood up, and it was a chap in a yellow shirt, and he was caught on camera standing up, and it started this wave that went around Centre Court, and suddenly the whole court was on its feet. It really was an amazing demonstration, I thought, of public gratitude.
And thousands of jobs are going to be created in the northeast of England because Nissan is stepping up its production of batteries for electric cars. The company's going to build a new factory in Sunderland.
The wait is over.
Euro 2020. With Steve Crossman on BBC Radio 5 Live.
Andy Murray and Nicolas Basilashvili are retaking the court to play the next set in that thrilling first-round match at Wimbledon. Murray leading by 2-1, but was 5-love up in the third set before Basilashvili won 7 games in a row. Full commentary on 5 Live Sports Extra. South Africa's rugby union squad say they will immediately resume preparations for the series against the British and Irish Lions. The Springboks had been isolating because 3 of their players tested positive for COVID-19. The Lions have touched down in South Africa now, led by their new captain Conor Murray. On the latest edition of the Rugby Union Weekly podcast, former Lion Ugo Monye is joined by Chris Ashton to discuss a Lions tour taking place during a pandemic.
It's amazing, really, that they've actually let this continue and let everything carry on right now. I suppose they have to. Do they have to? Do you think just keep sport on like we did in England? Give people something to watch and keep people going?
I feel really torn on this because, you know, we've discussed at length and everyone's discussed at length what it means to represent the Lions and how special it is and everything else. And over the last 18 months, there's been so much uncertainty. I don't know. I do not know. I mean, a Lions tour isn't going to feel like a normal Lions tour, but the world doesn't feel normal in itself. And, you know, over here in England where things are starting to open up a little bit, you just... I don't know, I do feel slightly uncomfortable about it, but I totally understand the reasons as to why it would go ahead.
And there's loads more from Ugo and Chris Ashton on the Rugby Union Weekly podcast. You can download it on BBC Sounds a little bit later this evening. Scotland have suspended their training camp following an outbreak of COVID. All players and management have been sent home to self-isolate. The Belgian Tim Merlier won a dramatic stage 3 of the Tour de France. His teammate Mathieu van der Poel retains the yellow jersey. Geraint Thomas dislocated his shoulder after crashing early on, and Ineos say he'll now be assessed in the morning before stage 4. Fulham, meanwhile, have confirmed that manager Scott Parker has left the club by mutual consent. We've got second half commentary coming up very shortly from Bucharest. Switzerland lead France, the world champions, by a 1-0. Tomorrow it's England-Germany. We've got build-up from 3:30 on 5 Live and full commentary at 5 p.m. Our correspondent John Murray's been speaking to England captain Harry Kane. So, does he think that famous Euro 96 semi-final defeat will be anywhere near the minds of the players ahead of this one?
I'll be totally honest. I reckon the majority of the players don't even remember that game. A lot of them weren't even born. I think I was only 3 years old. Of course, you see highlights and stuff like that, but the bottom line is we've moved on. We're a different team. We're a different squad. We've won penalty shootouts in the last 3-4 years. So the most important thing from our point of view is that we're trying to get the job done in 90 minutes, and if called upon, we'll be ready to do whatever it takes. As players, we don't need no more added motivation than to go out there and show our country what we can do. And, every time you put on an England shirt, it's an extremely proud moment, and you want to do yourself, your family, your friends, your country proud, and that's the same tomorrow night, no matter who we play. It's a big game at Wembley. Hopefully we can get the fans right behind us and obviously try and come out the winners.
How did you feel, Harry, at the moment that realisation hit that it was going to be Germany? You were going to captain England against Germany in a tournament match at Wembley.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, for a moment, it could have been any team in that group. It was chopping and changing. So, no, of course, there was excitement. It's going to be a hugely proud moment, walking out at Wembley in front of our fans in a knockout game. And obviously, against a big nation like Germany will be hopefully a memory that will stick with me and the team forever if we get the job done. So that's our focus. That's the most important thing. And I'm looking forward to trying to achieve that.
Harry Kane there speaking to John Murray. Rachel Burton's going to be live from Harry Kane's old school in Chingford tomorrow morning for 5 Live Breakfast. There's also going to be Alan Shearer, Jurgen Klinsmann and Boris Becker are all going to be on the programme. If you want the tennis, by the way, 5 Live Sports Extra, Andy Murray and Nicolas Basilashvili are just getting back underway. A couple of lines from the Germany camp as well. Joachim Löw has revealed that Antonio Rudiger and Robin Gosens have both had colds. Ilkay Gundogan's got a bruise. He's been feeling dizzy in training. He said a decision is going to be made on all 3 of them, but not until tomorrow morning. Another big story brewing at Euro 2020. We've already had Spain beat Croatia 5-3 after extra time. Julien Laurent has rejoined us. What's going on, Jules? Switzerland won, France 0.
That was a shambles. One of the worst first half I've seen France playing under Didier Deschamps. I don't know why he switched to a back 3. We said it just pretty much quickly. I was not convinced. I'm even less convinced now. I expect them to change that very quickly at halftime. Kingsley Coman will come on and they go back to a back 4 because they were just all over the place. And Switzerland scored early as well, which was perfect for them, for the game plan, for their confidence. And we just could not do anything. We hardly had a chance. It was embarrassing.
Well, I think we should bring Ali and Chris back in here as well, because you did say before the game, Jules, that it would be questionable to play Chris Sutton as a sweeper. But I'll tell you this, if Chris was marking Seferovic, the least he would have done was be jump.
It's exactly what I thought.
The least.
Seferovic would have scored a hat-trick by now.
No, he wouldn't. Don't do yourself down. Longley didn't even jump. He wasn't even looking at the ball.
No, and we're actually discussing that with little Petit Bruce in this where we are now. And it's clever centre-forward play, but Longley has to make contact with the centre-forward. He got bullied. And, that's a simple way to describe it. Still had a lot of work to do. The worrying thing from the French point of view, they've had no real rhythm to the play. They've played as individuals. And, I think Coman is coming on and, there'll be a change of formation. But they need a change of impetus to turn this round. 45 minutes. Right. I mean, this is a massive half, Julian, isn't it?
You're right. And I was very disappointed by the lack of press and counter press, to be fair. They let Akanji or Elvedi coming out with the ball, Ricardo Rodriguez as well, and I was like, why the lack of intensity? I don't understand it. And even when you 1-0 down, especially, that's where you have to step it up. They didn't. So very, very disappointing, and I expect Deschamps to have giving them the hairdryer treatment at halftime, which he does sometimes, not often, but
What's
sometimes.
hairdryer in French?
Sèche-cheveux. It's hard to say.
The old
Not
sèche-cheveux.
bad, no. Just your old French GCSE there.
Bonne chance, Jules.
Merci. Sèche-cheveux.
Ali, all yours.
Thank you. Second half about to get underway in Bucharest. Massive 45 minutes for the world champions. France, having won the World Cup in 2018, trying to go back-to-back in major tournaments. But Switzerland having absolutely none of it so far. Leading by a goal to nil. And as Chris was just explaining, Didier Deschamps has made the change straight away. So Bayern Munich's Kingsley Coman, who's no stranger to scoring on big nights in big games, having scored a Champions League final winner for Bayern a couple of seasons ago against Paris Saint-Germain. He is on, and Clément Lenglet, who was brought into the side this evening to play as one of the three centre-backs, is taken off. That is the change, and I'll give you the lineups in just a second. Underway, France in the blue shirts, blue shorts and red socks, up against Switzerland, all in white. Ball with Kimpembe. Burst forward from central defence, wide to Rabiot on the left-hand side. Played back to little N'Golo Kante. Comes scurrying across the halfway line. Low ball to Varane. Varane plays it out to Pavard. Kante's continued his run. Pops up wide on the right in his pink boots. Gets away from Xhaka. Back to Griezmann. Skidding shot from range. Goes behind for a goal kick.
There's a long way out. Griezmann. Only early in the second half, but positive from the French. Coman has started off on that left-hand side. The French with a back four now. Didier Deschamps off his long run to take Lenglet off. And Kimpembe running alongside Varane now as the two centre-halves. But they need to respond. They need to find energy from somewhere, the French.
Oh, brilliant dribbling from Pogba. Goes past Rodriguez, and then the pass, the final pass, no good, and behind for the goal kick. Not sure. We'll have a look on the replay. Brilliant to begin with. Xhaka tried to catch him, couldn't. Pogba then steps inside Rodriguez, continues the run, is looking up and looking for the pass, and then
the old left foot onto right foot. And I mean, that was horrible from Pogba.
Ball cleared long by Switzerland. Varane chases. So Varane and Kimpembe, your two centre-backs now. Varane on the yellow card. Pavard on the right. Rabiot on the left.
Rabiot hasn't looked comfortable all game.
Hernandez is on the bench, Chris. We must mention that. Lucas Hernandez, who's come into this tournament with a knee injury, is on the bench.
Fit enough for the bench? Fit enough to play?
You'd have thought he'd come on, possibly. That pass from Coman, is behind Rabiot and out for a throw. Just having a little word with each other as well. So it's not...
The French Le Grumps.
Yeah, not going their way so far. Deschamps arms cross. Seferovic's header separating the two teams. Andy Murray looked like he was cruising to a straight sets victory at Wimbledon. Has lost the third set to Basilashvili. And commentary continues over on 5 Live Sports Extra. Coman heads the ball infield. Rabiot battles hard for it, plays it back to Coman. So we've got Pogba and Kante in central midfield, and then Coman supporting Griezmann and Mbappe and Benzema. That's your French lineup. Switzerland unchanged, no change in personnel at half-time. Unchanged from the 3-1 win over Turkey as well in the final group game. Jan Sommer in goal. Elvedi, Akanji, Rodriguez, their three centre-backs. Widmer and Zuber, the wing-backs. Freuler and Xhaka in central midfield. Shaqiri in behind Embolo and Seferovic. Mbappe well tackled by Akanji, also uses the ball well. Seferovic is able to get on the end of that, chased by Varane. Varane holds him up, he plays it back down the left to Zuber. Zuber to Rodriguez, still happy to come forward, crosses the halfway line. Shaqiri, first time ball wide to his left. Steven Zuber absolutely plastered into twos, arms and legs and neck, and you could actually see close up at one point like almost the words, the verse that's written down his left leg. Widmer now bursting forward. Kimpembe's backing off. Support on the right for Embolo. Embolo takes a touch. He's beyond Kimpembe, drives it across goal. And Seferovic thought he was going to stick it into an empty net. and it was just deflected away from him at the last moment. Switzerland still have it. Xhaka's ball intercepted, and France now will try and come on the counter. Pogba plays to Benzema on the left. Benzema, fabulous ball into Mbappe. Gets the shout from Griezmann on the right-hand side. Rodriguez comes across to try and slow it down for Switzerland. Griezmann plays this ball back to Mbappe. Xhaka's right behind him. Mbappe back out to Griezmann on the right. Thought about that first-time cross. Didn't really see an option in there. Goes for the back heel down the right-hand side. Ball bounces back to him. Griezmann bringing the ball slowly forward and caresses it with his left foot wide to Pavard. Mbappe, 25 yards out, on the right. Little layoff to Kante. Kante just spins in a small circle. Back to Mbappe. Mbappe runs into the challenge of Akanji, and the ball goes out for a throw into France. France 0, Switzerland 1.
Well, how big a moment could that be in this game? The Swiss, a golden opportunity to go 2 up, to get daylight between the teams.
Need to see, Chris, who got the crucial touch. Crucial touch. Seferovic was there in front of an empty net, and it looked like the ball was coming to him. Yet to see the replay. Pogba on the ball for France. Benzema, little layoff to Coman. Coman to Varane, across to Kante. A bit more energy from the French, there has to be, because at the moment in danger of going out of this tournament in the last 16. Rabiot down the left-hand side to Benzema. Benzema back to Rabiot. Swiss back in numbers. Pogba has to curl a pass slowly back to Kimpembe, across to Varane. France switching it from left to right. Varane whips a ball into the Swiss penalty area, headed away by Elvedi. Kante jumps into Xhaka. Both players fall over. No free kick given. Nice touch from Shaqiri inside his own half. Lays it off here to Zuba. Zuba's running away from Pogba down the left. Then has the beating of Pavard as well. Pavard's chasing him hard. Zuba's away from him, looking for support in the middle. Oh, Pavard slides in. Zuba picks himself up.
Penalty.
Switzerland shouting for the penalty. Zuba tried to continue play. The video assistant referee will have to have a look at that. Swiss fans, you can hear their reaction inside the stadium. France on the attack, trailing by a goal to 0. It's come up on our screen. Potential penalty check for Switzerland. So if France score from this, we might be going back down the other end of the field. And Mbappe on the turn. Can't quite find his way through that gap. He goes down. Wants a penalty, and the referee says absolutely not. Get yourself to your feet.
What drama. What drama, and the referee stopping.
Wow.
The game. My first instinct was penalty. Zuba got the wrong side of Pavard.
He's going to the monitor. Referee Fernando Rapellini has been sent to the monitor by Juan Martinez, the video assistant referee, for the Pavard challenge here on Steven Zuba, who did so well. He ran with pace and purpose down the left-hand side. Pavard jumps in. It's on the line, Chris.
Oh, and the line. Oh, is it on the line? Is it?
I'm saying it's out. I think he makes
close. But he goes into the box.
Oh,
here we go.
Penalty! And he's given that in dramatic fashion, the referee. Loud blast on the whistle, and then a straight-on point to the penalty spot. Deschamps complains. Switzerland have a chance to lead France by 2 clear goals if they can stick it away.
Yeah, and I think that's the debate, and Deschamps really unhappy with the award, because he probably felt that the initial contact was outside the box, but it went into the box. Was it on the line, Bruce? We've got Wimbledon on. But I think, look, it was certainly a foul, but the big story here, what an opportunity this is.
Wow.
For the Swiss.
Leading 1-0, have a penalty. Ricardo Rodriguez has scored 6 of the 8 penalties that he's taken for Switzerland. Missed one last month in a warm-up game against the USA. Benzema's had a word with Lloris.
And we having a conversation earlier where you said Lloris isn't too hot on penalties.
You're right. I'll tell you about that in a second. Let's see what he can do here for France. This is huge.
Let's
Switzerland,
see if you were right.
To take a 2-0 lead. The Swiss fans can barely watch. Rodriguez stares intently at the ball.
I can barely watch.
Standing on the edge of the penalty area, and Lloris is jogging on the line, waiting for the referee's whistle. A chance for Switzerland to take a 2-0 lead. Big moment, Rodriguez. Oh, it's saved by Lloris. Low to his right-hand side. Cometh the moment, cometh the man for France. Lloris leaps to his feet, shouts to his teammates. Is that the turning point in the game?
Yeah. Is it the turning point? You said Lloris had a horrific record in goal. He leaps to his right-hand side. It's a tentative penalty, but he gets a big right hand to it and keeps it out of the net. What a moment. The Swiss, they could have had daylight. The French fans, they're celebrating. Lifeline for France.
What an incredible day at Euro 2020, and it's not over yet. Winners of this one play free-scoring Spain in the quarter-finals. They beat Croatia by 5-3. Switzerland leading 1-0. Lloris saving the Rodriguez penalty. Switzerland on the attack down the left. Seferovic, and the debate, of course, about whether it should have been a penalty. Pavard's challenge right on the line, so much so that where he made contact, his boots skidded through the turf, and you saw the sort of the scar in the white touchline on the edge of the penalty area. Xhaka playing it down the left. How much is this going to rattle Switzerland?
Well, exactly. And how much is that save going to inspire France and liven them up? You'd think it would.
Here's Griezmann, played in by Benzema. Coman in space on the edge of the penalty area. Awkward ball to control. Side foots it to his right. Pogba might try one from range. Drag onto the left foot. Slides it across to Mbappe with the curler. It's wide. Just didn't quite get the angle right. He was stroking it towards the far corner. It was bending back in, but it started out too wide. France 0, Switzerland 1.
Inches wide from Mbappe. Brilliant from Pogba. Shapes to shoot with his right foot. Sells a massive dummy to a couple of Swiss defenders and then rolls the ball out to the left-hand side of the box. And Mbappe, is he 12 yards out? Level with the near post, tries to feed it into that far corner, and it goes agonisingly wide of the far post.
World champions rocking in Bucharest. They could have been 2-0 down, but they're only trailing by 1-0. Mbappe plays it to Benzema. He's in, and he pokes it past Sommer. And France have their equaliser. Just moments after Hugo Lloris saves the Rodriguez penalty, Karim Benzema pops up in the penalty area, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and pokes it home with his left foot. France 1, Switzerland 1.
And you knew it. You just knew it after the penalty miss. But what a finish from Benzema. This is brilliant from Benzema. Scored goals all throughout his career, and he's the coolest man in the stadium. The ball's fed to him. It's actually the Swiss trying to play out from the back. It's a poor touch from the Swiss centre forward, and the ball's fed to Mbappe. Benzema looks like he took a heavy first touch. As the ball's actually behind him, he does brilliantly to retrieve it, and the goalkeeper comes out, but he's composed and calm. It's a great take, in fact. Takes the ball from behind him, and Sommer slow off his line, and as he comes out, he has the awareness just to lift it over. Sommer in the Swiss goal. Deschamps celebrates. The French are back in it.
How many times have you seen that in football? One team on top misses a penalty. Moments later, the other team takes encouragement, goes down the other end and scores. Next break in play, we're taking you to Wimbledon. Andy Murray on court. Commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra. Kingsley Coman down by the byline, cross into the penalty area. Elvedi heads it away. France 1, Switzerland 1. Shaqiri goes down, doesn't win a free kick. And France have won it back high up the field. Griezmann looking for the 1-2. Brilliant from Mbappe. Griezmann with the chip. And it's headed in by Benzema on the goal line. He scored 2 in 2 minutes. The world champions were rocking. And all of a sudden they're back in front. Benzema has his 4th goal at the tournament. And the front 3 combine quite beautifully. Little 1-2 between Mbappe and Griezmann. Mbappe's back heel was delicious. Griezmann's effort half blocked. Benzema there to nod it home. The Swiss don't know what's hit them. It's France 2, Switzerland 1.
Oh, the Swiss are all over the place. What a comeback. And Benzema once again with the goal. Brilliant movement. The French have connected. And this is so good. Good pressure, first of all, from Pogba. Wins the ball back, pops the ball out to Coman. And it's one touch from Griezmann into Mbappe. Little flick back, and then Griezmann from close range tries to lift the ball over Sommer in the Swiss goal. Sommer leaps to his left-hand side, makes a great save, but he pops the ball up, and there is Benzema with the easiest of tasks to head the ball into the empty net, heads it into the roof of the net. What a comeback from the French.
Benzema heads in from a yard out. The build-up was absolutely delicious, and that is what the French are made of. That is why they're the world champions. They lead Switzerland by 2-1. Right, let's check in on Wimbledon. Russell Fuller.
David Law here with Andy Murray leading by 2-1 and 2-1 now in the fourth set. Under the lights, the roof is on. Murray lost 7 games in a row from 5-love in the previous set, but he's got himself back together here. He's a break ahead and he needs 4 more games for the match, does Andy Murray.
Thank you, David. Getting so excited I don't know my David Laws from my Russell Fullers.
What a couple of minutes. The French were, they were going nowhere in this game. A team of individuals in the first half. What a big save from Lloris, and all of a sudden it just changed, transformed this game. The Swiss have been the better side. I don't know what minute we're in for, but for all of about 3 minutes in this game, and the French have come from nowhere.
Yeah, they're rampant. Griezmann's away down the right-hand side. Mbappe wanted him to release it. Griezmann's held onto it on the right, and the ball is played back to Nkante.
Formula One Benzema.
Yeah.
That's how he described himself. Formula One, comparing himself to Olivier Giroud.
Yeah, that's right.
He was more of a karting man.
Yeah, go-kart, he said.
Yeah.
Benzema coming up with the goods. What a decision as well by Deschamps to bring him back into the squad. 6 years away. Brilliance tonight. 4 goals in the tournament. Just having a little look here at the timings of the goals.
It's great. Well, I mean,
57th, 59th.
And when was the penalty?
Oh, now you see. The Reece penalty save. 55th. 55, 57, 59. It's happened in 5 minutes, Chris. No, but it's you count
5 minutes. Yeah.
No,
the game
it's
is
inclusive,
turned,
isn't it?
Yeah, the game is turned on its head. 5 minutes, Bruce.
French
3
free kick.
moments.
Yeah, huge.
3 huge moments.
If you've missed any of the action, Daily Euros pod rounding up this game tonight. Croatia 3, Spain 5, and looking ahead, of course, to the big one tomorrow at Wembley. In full on 5 Live, also on BBC One. If you want the 5 Live commentary with those games on BBC television, you can get the coverage in HD on the iPlayer, and you can sync it with the 5 Live commentary. 5 o'clock kickoff at Wembley tomorrow. Daily Euros podcast available for you on BBC Sounds.
Lovely touch from Pogba to release Kante in the middle of the park. Kante
to Mbappe. Mbappe has the ball at his feet. Little dummy from him, still dribbling. Elvedi does well. Watch the ball, gets a right foot on it, clears it for a throw into France on the left-hand side. 17 minutes gone in the second half. France 2, Switzerland 1.
And now it's France with all the energy and the pizzazz. The Swiss, they're on the rack now, aren't they? And the manager, Vladimir Petkovic, we said at half-time he looks a little bit like Hannibal Smith from the A-team.
George Peppard.
Yep. Plan came together in the first half.
Well, it needs an A-team style escape. Do you remember in the old episodes of the A-team, they're all sort of locked in a shed, only left with a spanner and a blowtorch, and they used to build incredible vehicles to get out of tight spots like this. Switzerland are in a tight spot. They've been excellent tonight, as Chris has been explaining, dominated pretty much most of the game. Rodriguez missed the penalty. Lloris saved low to his right. That was the chance to go 2-0 ahead. And a few minutes later, they find themselves 2-1 behind. So what have they got in response? Xhaka is playing the ball to Rodriguez. Rodriguez turns it in field. Seferovic, nice layoff to the left. Zuba stretches to keep it in. First touch was good. I thought second touch, yeah, took it beyond the line. Throw in for France.
They are shell-shocked, the Swiss. The players need to get themselves together. They were so comfortable, and the French fans are celebrating in the stadium. We hadn't heard from them for 55 minutes of this game. Now they're the ones singing, and the team in total control. They got their energy back, the desire back, the impetus back.
Zuba trying to win a ball for Switzerland inside the French half. Tackled by Kante and Griezmann. Throw in for Switzerland. Taken by Zuba, who did brilliantly, quite brilliantly, to win the penalty. Beat Pogba. Took Pavard on the outside, was taken down. Right on the edge of the box, referee sent to the monitor, decided it was a spot kick, but Switzerland unable to stick it away. Vroyler playing the ball back to Akanji, the centre-back, inside his own half. Sees Shaqiri in space. Can he produce a moment of magic again for Switzerland to try and get them back level? Little number 23, shirt untucked, across to Granit Xhaka. Xhaka quickly on to Rodriguez on the left-hand side. Rodriguez with the outside of his left foot gives it to Zuba, who just walks towards Pavard, thinks about taking him on. Ball is played back into midfield. Xhaka looking for a little 1-2 here. Pass not played to him. It comes across to Sylvain Widmer. Widmer to Shaqiri. Drops the right shoulder. Tries to one away from Rabiot. Pushed to the floor, free kick.
Yeah, daft from Rabiot. Shaqiri on the right-hand side, driving inside on his left foot, and Rabiot never going to win the ball there. Shaqiri gets his back, sticks his backside into Rabiot, keeps the ball the other side, and Rabiot brings him down.
Loose blade of grass in Xherdan Shaqiri's hair, rather ruining the look. He won't care about that. He's getting ready to take the free kick, and he's going to try and put the French defence under a little bit of pressure. France 2, Switzerland 1. 5 dramatic minutes in this second half when the game has been totally turned on its head. Shaqiri with his left foot curls the free kick in far post, chance, and there's two of them there and they miss it. Widmer and Seferovic both there. Widmer got the touch, didn't really believe. He was 5 yards out and had a great chance to score.
Well, what an opportunity. It's a brilliant ball in, whipped him. Whoa, would he have been offside? Well, I don't think Widmer.
Or foul on Varane.
There's a foul on Varane. Well, Seferovic bundles into Varane, but it was Seferovic actually who got the touch, but should be scoring from that range. Worry about the foul later. Widmer was in behind him. Wonder whether he may have just been offside. What a ball, though.
Not over yet. 21 minutes gone, second half. Could be extra time and penalties tonight. On air with you until 10:30, but obviously if it goes that way, we take it all the way. The Swiss now complaining that the French are time wasting. Lloris clears long with his left foot. Rodriguez wins the header.
It's been an incredible game, hasn't it, really? Oh,
Varane
took a chance there. I think he thought that Lloris was going to come out and pick the ball up. He didn't do. What a lovely touch from Coman.
Brilliant flick from Coman. Right leg behind left to get France moving up the pitch again. Can they kill it? Pogba slides it through. Mbappe possibly in. Elvedi sticks with him shoulder to shoulder and just did enough so that Mbappe couldn't get the shot away.
Yeah, what a wonderful slide rule pass from Pogba in the right-hand channel. Mbappe put the burners on. Elvedi matched him, stayed with him and just did enough to put him off, used his body, eased him out. And Sommer gathered.
4 minutes and 3 seconds, Chris, between Hugo Lloris's penalty save and Karim Benzema's second goal to put France 2-1 ahead.
Just the first goal was extraordinary from Benzema.
Or flick to Shaqiri from Mbolo. Shaqiri couldn't control it on the edge of the box. Played out here to Pogba.
Yeah, just going to say that the pass from Mbappe actually was behind Benzema. Not a good ball at all. As long ball.
Oh, header back from Widmer. Very nearly had Jan Sommer in real trouble. He's headed it wide of his own goal. Sommer was coming for the ball. No communication. Widmer nodded it back towards him. Sommer was in no man's land, but he did the right thing and made sure the header was wide of the goal rather than heading it straight back to his goalkeeper.
That was poor goalkeeping, poor communication, and you're quite right. We saw, I think we've seen some incredible own goals in this tournament, and that was nearly another one, but all the goalkeepers' fault. They are rattled, the Swiss, lost the composure.
France leading 2-1, corner for them. Griezmann will take it with his left foot from the right, headed away by Seferovic at the near post, nodded down cleverly by Pavard to Griezmann, who uses right foot this time, curling deep cross. Xhaka heads this one away and Mbolo nods it down. Kante is there, of course, to stop any potential counter-attack in its tracks. The ball is back with Kimpembe on the halfway line. France 2, Switzerland 1. Wimbledon coverage over on 5 Live Sports Extra at the moment. Andy Murray into a fourth set against Nicolas Basilashvili. and France playing inside their own half. Now they have the lead, now they have control of the game, and as it stands at the moment, we are looking at a quarter-final in St. Petersburg. 5 Live's first quarter-final commentary on Friday, 5 o'clock, will be France against Spain. Ball wide to Benzema on the left. Rabiot makes a run beyond him. Benzema plays it to him. Rabiot's cross kept away from Mbappe. Xhaka with a header. Pogba read it beautifully. Edge of the box. Left-footed shot. Dragged well wide. Actually took a deflection and is behind for a corner. It gives me a chance to ask you a question, Chris. When did Paul Pogba last score for France?
Oh, that's a loaded question. Well, there must be a familiar game, so I'll go World Cup final, Bruce.
Very, very good. Last goal for France on his 60th cap in the World Cup final against Croatia, winning his 84th cap tonight. France leading 2-1. Griezmann's curling corner. Kanji got a header on it. I think that's going to go behind for a corner on the other side. France lead 2-1, Chris, but they're still going out. They're looking for a goal to kill this game.
Yep, and they're the side in the ascendancy now, aren't they? The French. I mean, the Swiss, in terms of boxing, they dominated so much of the game, but they're knocked down. They haven't come to terms with it.
Mbappe's delivery at pace towards the near post, headed away. Mbolo lays the ball off to Zuba. Zuba brings it forward to Mbolo. Mbolo on the run on the halfway line, brought down by Pavard. Advantage play, good advantage. Now here's Zuba again on the left. Shaqiri waiting in the middle if they can find him. Rabiot's there. Good positioning inside his own box. Controls it with his left foot and slowly runs it to the edge of the box. Xhaka tries to win it off Kimpembe, still inside his own penalty area, and the referee spotted a player down.
Yes, and Bolo.
So the game
challenge
stops.
From Pavard. Reckless the challenge was from Pavard.
Pavard, were he to get booked in this game, would miss the quarter-final if there is one for France against Spain that I was just talking about. Don't forget, tomorrow, kick-off 5 o'clock at Wembley, England against Germany. My younger son, Chris, is playing in a school concert which starts at 5 o'clock tomorrow, which is
well,
he's tinkling the ivories tomorrow.
Yeah, his concert will have to wait.
No. We go to the concert. Chris, come on. As a committed parent, you've got to go to the concert, and then you turn the phones off, turn everything off, and get to the game and just, you know.
Well, I know what I'd be doing.
Well, 27 minutes gone, second half. Make sure you don't miss the game live on BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app if you're on the move. That could come in useful for us tomorrow. 5 o'clock, build-up starts at 3:30. England against Germany. All the build-up in 5 Live breakfast tomorrow and also on the Daily Euros pod. Back to Wimbledon, David Law.
Where Andy Murray's trying to do what he failed to do about an hour and a half ago. He's 2-1 ahead. He's 4-2 ahead now in the 4th set, and he's closing in on victory, he hopes. It's 9:30, it's under the roof. He's 2 games away from the win.
Mario Gavranovic of Dinamo Zagreb and Kevin Mbappe are both on for Switzerland. Double change with less than 20 minutes to play. They led the game 1-0. They're now trailing by 2-1, having seen Hugo Lloris save the penalty. And Mbappe straight into the action wide on the right-hand side. Vidmarov, Shaqiri, the other one that came off.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a big call, isn't it? Your main creator.
Yeah.
Taking him off, and Bolo's come out to this right-hand side. Maybe a little tweak in the shape.
Pogba, lovely ball with his outside of his right foot. Coman able to turn, shoots from range, bounces twice into the arms of Sommer, straight at him.
Yeah, he's a long way out there, wasn't he? Coman, 30 yards out. Didn't catch it flush at all with his right foot, but he's looked lively, hasn't he?
France 2, Switzerland 1. Seferovic stretches, can't control that pass. Varane is able to play it back to his goalkeeper, Hugo Lloris. Lloris takes his time, side foots one to Rabiot. Rabiot looking for Pogba, got to be careful there. Freuler in with the challenge. Pogba turns away from him, strides away from him. What a pass. Sweeps it majestically upfield to Mbappe. Great run being made by Benzema on the hat-trick in the game, of course. Griezmann, left-footed pass to Benzema, trying to feed it through to Mbappe. Blocked by Akanji. Rabiot with his left foot, out wide to Kingsley Coman. Just over 15 minutes to play. France 2, Switzerland 1. Coman to Benzema, right-footed curler, blocked by Xhaka. Back to Pogba, right-footed curler! From Paul Pogba! That is absolutely exceptional, and he knows it. He stands there like a statue, arms crossed, just nodding his head at his teammates and saying, that is that, job done, we're heading to the quarter-finals. An absolutely fabulous right-footed curler into the top corner. France 3, Switzerland 1.
And he's dancing. Paul Pogba, this is special. This is so special. Sublime, perfect from Pogba. I mean, he must be all of, what, 30 yards out, and he bends the ball. Is in a central area, and he bends the ball. This is postage stamp into the far top corner. Just watching it from behind, it's an unbelievable finish. Bend and dip, it goes right into the top corner. Sommer leaps to his left, he gets nowhere near it. Paul Pogba has had a great tournament so far, but that was special, so special.
First goal, Chris, since the World Cup,
and what a goal!
What a goal! What a goal! We're just saying majestic. The way he carries himself when he's playing like this, as he was in Russia, he just looks sensational. And you have to see that goal tonight on the highlights. BBC One at 11 o'clock. Croatia 3, Spain 5, France 3, Switzerland 1. Granit Xhaka's now got booked. If Switzerland turn this around and make it into a quarter-final, he will not play in it. But France, who were really ordinary, really poor in the first half.
Worse than that. They were so bad in the first half, but they've turned it round. But this is a team who know how to turn difficult situations around. They're a team of winners.
Rabiot on the charge, plays it to his left. France hungry for more. Benzema back to Coman. Coman goes for the curler, this one straight at Sommer, who pats it down and catches it on the bounce. So Switzerland now, nothing to lose, got to go for it. That'll open it up for France. France leading Switzerland by 3-1 and heading for a quarter-final against Spain.
They've just been so patchy in this tournament so far, but maybe now is the time we're seeing them step it up and go to another level, the French. You don't have your best champagne, Bruce, pre-dinner drinks, do you?
No.
You know, a lot
do you
of
save
talk
your
about,
best?
Yeah, about cork popping.
Yeah, Luis Enrique. And the Spanish, who certainly...
Pop your cork when it matters. Get the expensive stuff out at the right time. Don't go early. Don't waste your Tesco finest.
Griezmann with his left foot. Plays wide to Rabiot. So France 3, Switzerland 1. 13 minutes to play. Looks like it's game over for the Swiss. Excellent in the first half, leading 1-0 through the Seferovic header. Lloris then saved the penalty, and it's been all changed since then. A huge turning point in the game. Rabiot, good skill, gets away from Mbappe, holds off Mbappe. Coman's there for him, wide on the left-hand side. Coman in lots of space. Mbappe waiting in the middle, crosses too close to Sommer, who is able to claim it in his 6-yard box. Next break in play we get, Chris, I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about Hugo Lloris and the penalty stats I read, because I actually owe that to an article that I read on The Athletic. Really interesting stuff.
Until tonight.
Well, no. The point being,
his recent record with penalties is excellent.
His record tonight, superb, faultless, 100%. Seferovic wide to his left to Zuba. Zuba is going to run at Pavard. Can Switzerland find a second and get France just a little bit edgy? Don't forget, earlier on today, Spain led Croatia 3-1 with 5 minutes to play, and Croatia...
Yeah.
Chris, it happened today.
It could happen, but this is a French team now who, I mean, they are buzzing. That third goal, and you just see the Swiss body language as Zuba. He's off. Fastnacht is on.
Christian Fastnacht of Young Boys. 3 goals in his 8 caps so far. Mbolo is coming off. Ruben Vargas, 2 wingers on. So Vargas and Fasnacht, the wingers, who are trying to turn this around for Switzerland late in the game. Just over 10 minutes to play. France 3, Switzerland 1. Penalty-saving hero Hugo Lloris. So in this article, written by Jacob Whitehead, of all the goalkeepers in the tournament, Lloris has the worst penalty-saving record in his career. Saves 8.4% of his penalties. And the point being made that were they to go to a shootout, their third-choice keeper at this tournament, the Lille goalkeeper, Mike Maignan, would Didier Deschamps possibly think of doing a Louis van Gaal and turning to him in a shootout?
So here's one for you. If the Swiss get back into this then,
yes,
and it's all level, would you take Lloris off after he'd already saved a penalty, Bruce?
No, of course I wouldn't. Brilliant penalty save from the Tottenham keeper. He's produced when it matters, which is what he often does with his penalty saves. Because remember him saving in a Champions League game from Aguero in that two-legged tie that Tottenham went through the year they got to the final. France 3, Switzerland 1. England, Germany getting ever nearer. 5 o'clock kickoff, live at Wembley tomorrow. Ball played here into the feet of Fasnacht. Oh, Fasnacht thought he was going to have a go there. Tried to slide a pass to the left. He's done well to win the ball back. Played to Mbappe. Mbappe with 2 touches. Good cross in, head in! Switzerland are back in the game. Seferovic has his second goal of the game. This could be Croatia-Spain all over again. We've still got 10 minutes to play. It's France 3, Switzerland 2.
You better believe it. Incredible. The Swiss looked out of it. They looked dead and buried. And then all of a sudden, the ball's popped out to the right-hand side. And Babu, the sub, hits a great ball in. Whips a ball in across the 6-yard line. And Seferovic is not going to miss that. It's a confident header, powers the header in, paces on the ball, and it's all about the connection. And he catches it perfectly, gets across Varane, bang! The Swiss are back.
Cross just said, come and head me. Fabulous cross from Mbappe. Seferovic has done that. He's got 2. Benzema's got 2. Pogba's got 1. France 3, Switzerland 2. End to end now. France come looking for a 4th. Coman wide on the left, and Mbappe win with the challenge. And the ball breaks back to Rabiot. Still heading for France-Spain on Friday in St. Petersburg as a quarter-final. But what can the Swiss do about it? Can they create another chance like that?
Would you bet on it?
Kimpembe, curling ball out to the right, chested down by Pavard. So we've had 13 goals so far today in 2 games.
England, Germany, 0-0. All over it, isn't it?
Whatever the scoreline is, that will be a fabulous listen. It will be dramatic. It will be tense action at Wimbledon as well. We'll check in there in a second. France have a throw in wide on the right-hand side. France leading Switzerland by 3 goals to 2. Throw in taken towards Benzema. Benzema down by the corner flag on the right, trying to win a corner. The ball goes out for another French throw in attacking position. And they will just start to slow things down a little. Switzerland have 8 minutes plus added time to try and find an incredible, what would be an incredible equaliser, to take us to 3-3. Pavard with the throw. Bloody left elbow you could see as he lifted his arms up to take the throw. Griezmann rolls it back here to Rabiot, fancies his chances from range and smashes it over the crossbar. David Law at Wimbledon,
where Andy Murray is a game away from victory. 5 games to 3, 2 sets to 1. He has had to scrap his way here, but he's just a game away from the second round.
That's over on 5 Live Sports Extra. It's almost got to the point, actually, where you need 2 radios on. You need us and that on 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra to stay across it all. Here's Mbappe, chest the ball down on the right. Switzerland have fought doggedly, and actually they've played superbly. Can they, though, score a third? Oh, Seferovic not running towards the ball. Varane is able to intercept and plays it back to Pavard.
He's got a show there. Seferovic, ball out on the left-hand side position, has to get across his defender and become a focal point. Get your body in, hold it up, link the play up. But this game has ebbed and flowed, hasn't it? Really has.
Kante tries to win a header from a bouncing ball inside his own half and just ran it. Not tall enough, Chris, actually, just bounced over his head. Ball to Freuler. Freuler to Xhaka. Xhaka looking for support on the left-hand side. Rodriguez, tired legs, carrying him forward. Cuts inside onto his right foot, hits the shot, and it's stabbed in! Now, is that going to be offside? Gavranovic, the flag's up. VAR will check it. He did look in an offside position. Rodriguez shot. Gavranovic blocked it, turned. He stuck it in the far corner, and VAR will now play its part.
Well, I tell you what, the Swiss subs are having a word with the assistant. Oh, it's close. I think he's just off. I think he's an inch or two off. It's so close, though. It's Rabiot, the left back, who could possibly be playing. Gavranovic on.
Check over. Says on my screen, goal won't stand. Plan very nearly came together for Vladimir Petkovic there. So we have 5 minutes to play. Rabiot was a lucky boy there. He was a lucky boy.
Well, it's not his usual position, of course. Got that wrong. A bad line from the French, and Didier Deschamps has his hands in the... I think he's praying there.
I think this game tonight, Chris, has probably aged him slightly more than spending 3 months in a hotel with you when you were at Chelsea together.
Yeah.
Throw him for Xhaka.
That's a good shout, that.
Right, last change for Switzerland. Admir Mehmedi of Wolfsburg. Very serious look on his face, getting ready to come on. Switzerland trailing France 3-2. Led 1-0, with 3-1 down. Seferovic's second header has given them a chance. Rodriguez's ball nodded down by Gavranovic, who's had the ball in the back of the net but was caught offside. Seferovic, tackled by Pogba. Seferovic wins it back. Xhaka side foots one across to Freuler. Freuler to his right. Switzerland still in an attacking position, level with the edge of the French box. And Barbu is going to take on Rabiot, try to nutmeg him. Rabiot goes down, wins a free kick, chance to run down the clock a little for France. 3.5 minutes of the 90 to play. France 3, Switzerland 2. France at the moment heading through to a quarter-final against Spain. France, Spain, Belgium, Italy, Czech Republic, Denmark, England or Germany against Sweden or Ukraine is your quarter-final lineup. They start on Friday, all 4 games in full on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. First one at 5 o'clock on Friday will be the France-Spain one, if it is France that goes through.
Feel for Rodriguez, who missed the penalty. He will not sleep for a month.
You never know, though, Chris. Even if they'd gone 2-0 down, France could have produced... I mean, they've scored 3 in the game, haven't they? I know it changes the game.
It doesn't work like that.
We don't know, Chris. We're guessing.
It's not prep school sport, Bruce. You know I love that one.
It's an old favourite. Griezmann off.
It's not B-team rugby, this.
I wasn't in the B-team, by the way. If you go to the honours board, I was in... top team, thank you. Griezmann off.
Yeah.
Sissoko on.
Yeah, the Petit Prince off. He's had a good game, showed some really lovely touches. He drifts, doesn't he, Griezmann? Got Sissoko on now to see this game out.
Right. 2.5 minutes of the 90 to go. France 3, Switzerland 2. And Barbu's been caught by Coman as he jumped. Goes down holding his cheek. Free kick for Switzerland. Yellow card for Coman for the challenge.
And you said it as well, Bruce, about Deschamps' decision to get Benzema back in this French team. What a great call! What an important call. No, I'm a big fan of Giroud, but Benzema has been the difference. And his first goal was so good. The way he took the ball, it was behind him. It was magical. The way he somehow manoeuvred the ball from behind him into his path, and then the clever lifted finish over Sommer in the Swiss goal. It was a goal of beauty.
89th minute of the game. World champions France have been in a real tussle tonight. They are leading by 3-2. Just going to see what minute. So Croatia scored their third in the 92nd minute against Spain in Copenhagen earlier this afternoon. Just remember that as we tick towards the 89th minute here. France leading 3-2.
The Swiss can't, can they?
Freuler wide on the right. Ball into the French penalty area. Good header away by Varane, controlled by Xhaka. Thinks about the shot, diagonal ball. Headed back into the box by Mehmedi. Big shout from Lloris. Comes sprinting forward, throws himself at it and falls on it.
Yeah, difficult from Mehmedi as the ball was crossed in from Xhaka. Couldn't really get the height with his jump and just headed the ball weakly back across, and Lloris came and gathered gratefully.
Pogba nods it forward to Benzema. Benzema back to Pogba inside the Swiss half. Great tackle there on Pogba. He goes over. Ball was cleanly won. Xhaka plays it through the middle. Gavranovic, edge of the box, shoots. What a goal! What a goal from Mario Gavranovic! What a touch on the edge of the box to get it onto his right foot. A fabulous finish into the bottom corner. And we're at it again in the last 16 at Euro 2020. We're heading to extra time, I think. It's France 3, Switzerland 3.
This is incredible! Incredible scenes! What a finish this is from the sub, Gavranovic. It's a wonderful take, it really is. He does so well as Pogba. Pogba scored the brilliant goal, a wonderful, sublime goal. He gives the ball away in the middle of the pitch. And then the Swiss break.
That tackle, Chris, is fast-snapped. That is a brilliant tackle, isn't it, to win possession back for Switzerland?
Oh, and then Xhaka with the slide rule pass, but he has so much work to do. Little shift away from Kimpembe, and it's a wonderful finish. Whips it across Lloris into the far corner. What a finish! What a goal! What a game! And this stadium. I mean, it's incredible. Remarkable
day at Euro 2020. 14 goals for you so far today. We're not finished. How many minutes of added time have we got? No idea. France 3.
You called it, Bruce.
Switzerland 3. Well,
it couldn't happen twice in a day.
Pavard plays it down the line. That's intercepted. Has anyone got the gas left in the tank to win this?
I don't think we have.
In 90 minutes. No, we haven't. Lloris. So 4 minutes of added time, 90 seconds of that gone. France 3, Switzerland 3. Switzerland, I think, actually deserve it. They deserve it.
Well, and I tell you what, talked about Petkovic, a plan coming together. He's not been frightened to make substitutions, and Gavranovic coming on, took the goal brilliantly. First touch, second touch, and then bang! Third touch into the goal.
Ball over the top, aimed at Mbappe, headed away by Elvedi. Coman is there. Switzerland with defending to do, done it well. Fastnack's tackle on Pogba was so important.
But Pogba
dawdling.
I don't know what dawdling is in French.
Julien will tell us.
He took too long.
Gavranovic, before this tournament, was in good goal-scoring form for Switzerland. 7 goals in these last 8 caps ahead of this tournament.
Listen to this.
Yeah, brilliant. Swiss fans, I mean French fans, it's funny, they've taken it in turns, the two sets of fans, to be shell-shocked. And I'll tell you what, France are at it again. Kante, dragged back, down by the byline, couldn't get the cross into Mbappe. He wanted it earlier, and Babu clears with his right foot. Seferovic still out there fighting hard, chests the ball down, keeps it in play, wide on the right-hand side, and Babu's clearance blocked by Kante, out for a throw into Switzerland on the right. It is France 3, Switzerland 3.
And Babu's given them good drive down the right-hand side. The Swiss, athletic he is, but his delivery for the second goal. Seferovic, Swiss timing, and then the third goal, perfect timing. Brilliant finish. The take, had no right to score from there. Kimpembe went to ground early. Gavranovic sidestepped him. Here he is again.
Oh, ball over the top. Gavranovic just gets away from him on the edge of the penalty area. In fact, that was Mehmedi who was trying to get onto the long ball, bringing it down with his right foot. Had he been able to do so, he was in on Lloris, and Lloris breathes a big sigh of relief and takes it off his toe as it just got away from him. Pavard down the right-hand side. Hard run from Sissoko. Will be able to keep this in. Are we going to get a goal in the last minute of added time for France to win it 4-3? Sissoko twisting and turning, dummies the left-footed cross. Right-footed ball comes in. Coman chests it down. Benzema's there. Coman hits the bar. Coman's crashed it against the crossbar, and we very nearly had a 94th minute winner for France to win it 4-3, but I think it's going to be extra time.
What an incredible game of football this is. Coman hits this absolutely flush. It's brilliant from Sissoko. Ball dinked to the far post. Coman takes it on his chest, steadies himself. The ball bounces, gets that right hip up high, and he hammers the ball across Sommer, off the crossbar, and away to safety. Didier Deschamps, he winces. He thought it was in. We thought it was in.
Extra time on its way on 5 Live for the second time today. Remarkable game in Bucharest. After 90 minutes, ends France 3, Switzerland 3. Switzerland led through the Seferovic header. Rodriguez saw his penalty saved by Hugo Lloris. 4 minutes later, Switzerland were 2-1 down. Benzema with both. Pogba killed in an absolute beauty. We thought at the time to win the game, to lead 3-1. But the Swiss weren't done there. Seferovic with his second with a close-range header. Gavranovic in the 90th minute. And both sets of players now taking liquids on boards, taking deep breaths. We're heading to extra time. France 3, Switzerland 3. When we do get a winner, they will meet Spain in the quarterfinals. Steve.
Oh, my word. The players need to take a breath. The players need to take a drink. I wish you could see Julien Laurent's face. Jules, my goodness.
Oh, my word. I don't know. I thought the game was under control that second half. The reaction that we expected, and we talked about half-time, go back to a back four. Kingsley Coman bringing what he usually brings. And then when you think you've got the game, it's under control. A bit like Spain against Croatia earlier today. You let them come back because that third goal is gifted. Pogba losing the ball. Kimpembe too easy. It's a great finish by Gavranovic, but too easy. And I just think, oh no.
Football, eh, Chris? Sacre bleu.
But you know what? I mean, incredible performance from France in the second half. To get back in it, and 3-1, and the goal from Pogba. I mean, I've got to say, the first goal from Benzema was a goal of absolute beauty. The way he took the ball as a poor pass from Mbappe behind him, but his touch and the way he manoeuvred the ball. I mean, elastic legs he was there to take the ball into his stride and then dink the ball over Sommer. But then Pogba with the third goal, a goal of beauty. A wonderful, wonderful goal. One of the best goals we'll see in this championship. But then buffoonery from Pogba at 3-2. Dallied on the ball, gave it away. And then, I mean, Bruce called it. I thought with what happened earlier today, there is no way that this game could be turned around with France 3-1 up. You know, they are such a strong team, confident team. I didn't see them letting it slip. But do you know what? In many ways, the Swiss have deserved it.
Flânerie, the French word for dawdling, Chris. You were asking for before. That's what Paul Pogba was doing. But Switzerland, unbelievable. They led. They were pegged back. They found a way. Just like Andy Murray. David Law.
Yes, we've had a similar situation here with Andy Murray looking home and dry at 2-0 and 5 up. But his opponent, Nicolas Basilashvili, won 7 games in a row to force a nervy fourth set. They closed the roof, they put the lights on. It's nearly 10 o'clock at night here, but Andy Murray has just sealed victory, 6-4 in the fourth set. He's just done his interview on court as well, and he said, I want to keep playing. I love playing this sport, and he's not finished yet here at Wimbledon. Into the second round. Heather Watson also in action at the moment. She's level up at 5 games all in the third set against Christiane.
David, do you know what it reminded me of? When Andy Murray lost that third set, it took me back to his first ever Wimbledon, when he led 2-0 against Nalbandian, but he didn't have the energy. It was almost like the reverse. He didn't have the energy because he was too young. This time around, it just felt like it could slip away again.
Well, yes, and he's played so few matches in the last few years. I mean, he has not played a singles match on this court for 4 years. That's how injured he's been. He's had the hip surgery, the metal hip. He's had a groin problem. He tested positive for COVID earlier this year when he felt he was starting to find the way. And you could tell he was just frankly lacking match practice at the highest level in that third set. His opponent started to come on strong. Murray, basically, he didn't have the muscle memory to get over the line. But he managed to reboot, won the fourth set, and actually these few hours on court, if he's physically okay, could do him the world of good, because he's just got his eye in over the last few hours.
David, thank you very much. Incredible drama at Wimbledon, incredible drama at Euro 2020. Earlier tonight, Spain beat Croatia 5-3 after extra time. One of the most iconic games ever in the European Championships. It's not even the best game of the night. We've got extra time in Bucharest. Ali.
France 3, Switzerland 3. Last shot we've just seen is of Granit Xhaka, the Swiss captain, head bowed in a very tight huddle with his white-shirted teammates, making sure that they are on it for this extra time. France are going to kick us off. Blue shirts, blue shorts, red socks in the National Arena in Bucharest, leading by 3-1, pegged back by Switzerland. Gavranovic off the bench to score the equaliser in the 90th minute. There has not been a major tournament since the Euros in '88 that's not had a penalty shootout. That could possibly come here this evening. Mehmedi is caught by Pavard. Pavard is booked. That means Pavard will miss a quarter-final if France get there. And they've got problems with the left-backs. They will lose Pavard as well.
Oh, that's a bad challenge, that. Mehmedi, I mean, he's very high, very late there. Pavard.
Out of a potential quarter-final against Spain. France 3, Switzerland 3. And you can just feel, actually, inside the stadium as well, that it's just going to take a little while to... It's been so ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I mean, we talked about the players needing refreshments and drinks. So did we, Bruce.
We did. Xhaka to his left-hand side. Switzerland have made 5 changes so far. France have only made 2. Ruben Vargas, winger, brought on late on, wide on the left. Tackled, stopped in his tracks. Mehmedi back to Granit Xhaka. Xhaka across to Akanji, and now Elvedi, centre-back, comes striding over the halfway line. France 3, Switzerland 3. Ball played by Fasnacht to his right. Gavranovic, Kimpembe in front of him, just outside the penalty on the right. Drives the cross in low. Into the side netting it goes. Appealed for a corner. What's the referee decided?
It has to be a corner. He's been good, Gavranovic, since he's come on. Little shift on the right-hand side and wins the corner.
Tell you what, if it does go to penalties, we're going to get back into that conversation about Lloris, who saved one in the game.
Save any.
Well, if he doesn't...
Should have brought the third choice, or bring the third choice keeper on, that's what we'll say.
Mike Mignon is the Lille goalkeeper, who's a bit of a penalty-saving expert, but we're miles away from that at the moment. Switzerland with an early corner and extra time. Ball into the near post, flicked on and saved by Lloris quite comfortably. Good flick from Mehmedi with his right foot, but Lloris in the right position at the right time. I've forgotten to start my stopwatch, you see. I've gone, we're in trouble.
I've got to say, I lost track of all the Swiss substitutes. I mean, what a mad second half. All the changes, and
Benzema's
gone down.
Benzema's down on one knee and he's hurt. Not quite sure what's happened. Slowly getting to his feet.
Looks like he's going off. He's hobbling.
Giroud.
Yep. Well, get the Formula One off and get the go-kart started.
Warm applause, quite rightly, for Karim Benzema, who's made such a fantastic return to the national team at this tournament. The big, bearded number 9, Olivier Giroud, to win his 110th cap, is coming onto the field for France. 46 goals to his name, 4 of them at major tournaments. And we've
didn't score at the World Cup, last World Cup.
He didn't. No, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right.
But we've seen over the years he can. He's a scorer of big goals.
Oh, brilliantly won. I thought by Kante in the midfield.
They
Pogba from Kante plays it to Sissoko. Giroud now through the middle. Play back to Pogba. Urgency about Pogba. Giroud's first touch. Great pass with his left foot. Rabiot comes charging forward. Cross in. Looking for Giroud. Nowhere near him. Play behind him. And it's volleyed away by Vargas. Clever little side-footed volley pass from Kimpembe to Pogba. Pogba lays it off to Pavard. Pavard, who won't play in the quarter-final if France get there. Pogba with his right foot across to Kante. France 3, Switzerland 3. First period of extra time. Coman with pace. Has the beating of Mbappe. Into the penalty. Cross into the near post. Might come to Pavard. Stabs it with his right foot. Sommer saves. Tips it over the bar quite brilliantly. And is behind for a corner.
Well, Coman, it's so dangerous because He'll take defenders both ways. Drives the outside, and Mbappe is no slouch. Gets to the byline, pulls it back. Pavard, one touch, two touches, and then as the ball sits up, volleys it right-footed. It's arrowing into the roof of the net, and Sommer, not the tallest of keepers, tips it over the bar. Good save.
Mbappe taking the corner. Griezmann now off the field, curling ball into the far post. Pogba tries to win the header, cleared by Switzerland. Sissoko with his left foot side foots it back to the halfway line. Described the stadium looking like a circus, the big top. It's been a great show for the spectators this evening. France 3, Switzerland 3 in the National Arena in Bucharest. And we're just warming you up nicely for the small matter of England-Germany tomorrow. Full commentary on 5 Live at 5 o'clock. Mark Chapman will start the build-up for you at 3:30. All the build-up in the Daily Euros podcast, available via the BBC Sounds app. Just download that and make sure you subscribe. And 5 Live breakfast from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Rachel Burden is at Chingford Foundation School, Harry Kane's and David Beckham's old school. Alan Shearer and Jurgen Klinsmann will be on together on the breakfast show tomorrow. France 3, Switzerland 3. I imagine this game might get some discussion as well. Seferovic is coming off for Switzerland, so this is the extra substitution that they are allowed to make in extra time. And Fabian,
how many have they made?
6. Ed Sakenby. Fabian Scher. Fabian Scher is coming on, Chris, and for a man who loves his puns, let's just see what Scher can do, because there must be something in that for you.
Yeah. What a game Seferovic has had. What an influence. The first header, absolutely stunning. The second one, not bad as well. Expect him to score. It gets across his defender. Swiss timing.
Dear oh dear.
The cart horse done good.
France 3, Switzerland 3.
So how are they going to shape up now, the Swiss?
Vargas heads it forward. I'm just going to concentrate on who the ball goes to and just describe it as it goes. Ball played in towards Mehmedi. Kante is there, as he so often is for France, to intercept. Ball drops inside the French half. Pogba battling hard with Vargas. Kante sticks a leg out. Side foots a pass to his right. And Mbappé's won it. Chance for Switzerland here. 2 players in the box. Gavranovic is one of them. And Mbappé still going into the penalty area. Low cross intercepted by Varane at the near post and goes straight out to Kingsley Coman wide on the left-hand side. Coman going through the gears slowly inside his own half. Finds Mbappe, who slips as he tried to knock it past Akanji. Oh, Mbappe's won it back. Mbappe on the move, striding through the middle, plays the ball out to the left to Coman. Giroud's waiting in the middle. Coman into the penalty area, switches onto his left foot, drives the ball rather selfishly into the side netting behind for a goal kick.
He works the situation so well, end to end now in extra time. The French and the Swiss slugging it out. I tell you, Varane, right place at the right time, or a certain goal for the Swiss. Mbappe with the cross, and then the French break down the other end.
First period of extra time.
You spoke about the arena, Bruce, and Coman's gone down. Now, I know Ian Dennis is a medical expert, but does this look like a hamstring injury? Now, I know you spoke about the arena being such a marvellous arena. You know, we talk about who we thought was going to be the greatest showman in the tournament. Kylian Mbappe hasn't turned up yet. Will he turn up tonight? Will he have a say? I think it's been a disappointment so far, though.
Not scored at the tournament just yet. Obviously, we've seen plenty of examples of the blinding pace. Coman's down holding his hamstring. The French having nightmares with the injuries in this tournament.
I wonder what Dr. Deno would say about this. How long he'd give him out.
Well, Ousmane Dembele's out of the tournament. Both left-backs not fit because Lucas Hernandez on the bench hasn't come on. Luca Digne is out. Kingsley Coman is stretching off here.
I mean, I'm no
medical
expert. I'm no French lip reader as well. I struggle with English, but I think he's having his hamstring stretched and saying to the physio, no, I've pulled my hamstring.
Slight disagreement here with a member of the medical staff. Slightly heated conversation between Kingsley Coman and a member of the French medical team. Coman's going to carry on. He's going to carry on. He's picked himself up and says he's okay. I'm sure.
I think he's saying under the collar there, Kingsley Coman, or shoes sur le cou, Bruce, as they say in France.
Do they? France 3, Switzerland 3.
It's either...
No, it's a wave. Mexican wave. What are they doing that for? Surely.
They're enjoying themselves, Bruce.
Are you not entertained?
That's a fair point.
Ball to the left-hand side. Switzerland in possession. Extra time not really taken off. It's often the way, isn't it? It's often the way.
It'd be one big opportunity. Akanji on the ball. Has a tattoo, doesn't he, Akanji? Proves them wrong.
Xhaka, left-footed ball, looking for the run over the top here of Vargas. Brings it down with his right foot. Varane is there again for France. Falls as he clears with his right foot. It's out for a throw into Switzerland. Wide on the left-hand side.
There's a couple of important interceptions. Varane in extra time.
Chris Sutton with us on BBC Radio 5 Live. Croatia 3, Spain 5. That one finished in extra time earlier on today. France 3, Switzerland 3 for the right to meet Spain in the quarter-finals. Kante buzzing around, trying to win possession for France. They've done that. Lovely layoff from Giroud. Played to Kante. Now can he release Mbappe on the left-hand side? Switzerland in danger now. Here's Mbappe with his left foot. Stands it up to Sissoko, who hits it first time and almost knocks it out of the stadium.
That was awful. Mind the windows, Sissoko. Mbappe, as soon as he got the ball, left-hand channel, there were 5 Swiss defenders, midfielders going towards him, unselfish, dink the ball up to the far side of or across the box to Sissoko, and a cushion volley so far over the bar.
Xhaka has picked himself up. He was down hurt. Pogba accidentally kicked him in the calf as the two of them challenged for a 50-50. What an incredible atmosphere inside the stadium in Bucharest. How lucky are those people to be in there watching this game. France 3, Switzerland 3 could still end in the drama of a penalty shootout. Lloris clears with his right foot. At the last Euros, Switzerland went out on penalties to Poland. Granit Xhaka was the man to miss, and he shanked it rather badly. Vargas has been good since coming on for Switzerland wide on the left. Tries to knock it past Pavard, got a foot in it, out it goes for a throw. Gavranovic flicks it down the line to Vargas again. Pavard again in his way, blocks it, it goes out for another throw-in to Switzerland. France 3, Switzerland 3. Mehmedi, Pogba slipped, claims he was pushed over by Xhaka. It allowed Xhaka to get to the throw. Mehmedi plays it to Vargas. Pavard's with him again, wins the corner.
Really persistent from Vargas, twisting and turning, twizzling on the left-hand side. And Pavard, he looks like he's out on his feet. Pavard does. Opportunity for the Swiss from this corner.
Set piece, corner from the left. Vargas won it. Vargas will take it. France 3, Switzerland 3. Nervous faces of French fans behind this goal that France are defending. Pogba delivering the instructions, making sure everyone's got their man. Whistle blows. Akanji makes the run to the near post. In it comes from Vargas, headed up in the air by Rabiot. Akanji is underneath it, heads it back to the edge of the box. Giroud is there, just stands in the way. Right old scramble edge of the box. Mehmedi tries to get it down. Mehmedi shoots with his right foot, just swung at it, slices it wide, and behind for a goal kick. I think he either wants a free kick or a corner. Referees having none of it, and Hugo Lloris will have a chance to clear his lines. France 3, Switzerland 3.
Yeah, what do we call that? Good old Stramash do it on the edge of the box, the ball bouncing everywhere, players everywhere.
Oh, hang on, checking for potential penalty, potential foul has come up on my screen. Hugo Lloris is not able to take the goal kick. Hugo Lloris...
Was there a foul initially from the corner?
Hugo Lloris might be needed again. No, he won't be needed again to save his penalty. Referee, check over, blows his whistle, says let's get back underway. Hugo Lloris jogs backwards. France 3, Switzerland 3. Cleared with his left foot. Don't you worry, Chris, I've written down penalty shootout records for both nations. France's last one in a major tournament, World Cup final 2006, and they lost it to Italy. The famous game, Zinedine Zidane sent off, scored his penalty in normal time. France lost the World Cup final. They've been involved in 6 in major tournaments, won 3, lost 3. Switzerland have been involved in 3 and lost all 3. Giroud can't win that header, took a whack in the back, and the ball is with the Swiss goalkeeper Jan Sommer.
I mean, they've been quite direct the last couple of minutes, just going into Giroud, but Mbappe needs to get closer to him. If that's the case, it's too far apart.
Mehmedi on the ball, getting between the lines for Switzerland there, in between that French midfield and defence. Xhaka to his left-hand side. Switzerland making the running at the moment in this first period of extra time. Vargas on the dribble, back to Xhaka, curling ball to the far post, and Barbu, can he keep it in? Down by the byline, well, yeah, he can, but he can only knock it out for a throw-in to France.
And Xhaka's had a really influential game, hasn't he, for the Swiss?
Tends to, for his country, yeah, Chris. He takes some stick, doesn't he, for club performances.
If you're an Arsenal fan watching this, you'd be scratching your head.
It's often the way. I've seen him play plenty of times for Switzerland and play well. Pogba with a little back header. 1 minute of added time at the end of this first period of extra time. France 3, Switzerland 3. Kante blocked by Mbappe. Fairly blocked, though. And the ball is played back to Jan Sommer. Sommer inside his penalty area. Is Mbappe going to light it up in the second period of extra time? Not seen much of him this evening. Coman, who seemed to have that slight hamstring tweak, still out there. Ball played to Mbappe now. Mbappe opens it up to his right to Sissoko. Cross comes in, blocked at the near post. Vargas is there, happy to whack it anywhere.
Station from Vargas, anywhere will do. Hoofed it into the stand.
Pavard gets ready to take the throw. Closing seconds of the first period of extra time. 15 minutes away from a penalty shootout, the first of Euro 2020. And I tell you what, there's been some penalties missed at this tournament as well. Half-time whistle blows in extra time. France 3, Switzerland 3. Switzerland probably just edging that first period of extra time. But, Steve, as it stands, still level pegging. France 3, Switzerland 3, playing for the right to meet Spain in the quarter-finals.
I'm just looking at pictures, Chris, of Vladimir Petkovic with his big square tie. And I read a quote this morning from him. And I know you two are big culture vultures. And I know you would be absolutely even more in your element if you were out there at the game. This is a quote from Vladimir Petkovic that I think is appropriate for the situation we're in, Chris. Football is like mountain climbing. The higher you go, the thinner the air, the stronger you have to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Bruce touched on it. They're the better side in the first half of extra time. I think they've been the better side all evening. I think that they've been braver. They've played the better football. Just seeing Deschamps and Coman. I wonder whether Coman's injured or not. There seems to be an issue there. But you're right. The Swiss, you know, they have been absolutely outstanding. They are well drilled. They've looked a better team than the French team. The French team have been more about individuals, but no, there's an issue here with Deschamps, isn't there?
That takes me back to Maurizio Sarri and Kepa at Wembley in the League Cup final. That seemed to be, you know, Deschamps, Coman really forcefully kind of rejecting what Deschamps was saying to him.
But Coman would know if you pulled your hamstring, or you tweaked your hamstring, and you know, so there can't be any issue there. I'd be shocked. You can't run properly, Bruce.
Did it the other day, Chris. I did.
Can I leave you both with a Swiss idiom? Because I know you enjoy an idiom.
Love them, yeah.
So the Swiss have an idiom for not panicking in a difficult situation. And they say, il n'y a pas le feu au lac. The lake is not on fire.
It's very good.
Very good.
Very good,
like
Steve,
that.
Yeah.
Like that. Right. Here we go then. 15 minutes away from penalties at the Euros. France 3, Switzerland 3. Gavranovic getting ready to get us back underway. The man who took that chance quite brilliantly in the 90th minute of the game. Stepped away from Kimpembe, rifled his shot into the bottom corner. Switzerland still with a chance to pull off one of the greatest results in their history and knock the world champions out of the Euros. Back underway, here we go. Started the stopwatch this time, we're okay on that front. Gavranovic with his right foot. Tired legs, I'm sure. Hearts beating fast. Unbearable tension for the fans. And we've still got England-Germany coming your way on 5 Live tomorrow, kicking off at Wembley.
He's terrible with his right foot, isn't he?
Lloris clears with his right foot. Xhaka wins a header on the halfway line. Kante across to Coman. Coman had Mbappe in front of him.
He's not moving that freely, though, is he, Coman?
Tell you what, the manager will go, Mbappe on the turn, clever turn. Looking for the 1-2 with Giroud. Xhaka read it brilliantly. Got there just ahead of Mbappe. Nice pass from him. Mehmedi through the midfield. Gavranovic stopped by Kimpembe.
Foul. Should be a foul, but France have the ball.
France 3, Switzerland 3. Sissoko, one of the French substitutes on the field. Vargas in front of him. Plays it back here to Varane. Kante pops up in the French midfield. 40 yards from goal. Out to Rabiot. Coman steps from his left foot to his right foot. That needed quick movement. Back to Rabiot. Kante up towards Mbappe. Lovely turn to get away from Elvedi. Just couldn't wriggle past him on the outside, and then the ball hits the referee from Elvedi's pass, so that will be dropped back.
I think Elvedi's played him really well tonight. Been extremely mobile, but read situations brilliantly, used his body. He's been outstanding. Mbappe, we know what a handful he is, that the acceleration, the drive that he has to get away from players, but Elvedi's been outstanding.
On the yellow card as well early on in the game. Rabiot intercepts for France in the left-back position. Floats one up the left-hand touchline. Giroud challenges for it. Freuler is there, nods it out of play. Throw in for France on the halfway line on the left-hand side. 2 minutes already gone in this second period of extra time. Deschamps and Petkovic, the two men in charge in their dark blue suits, watching on incredibly anxiously. What a result it would be for Petkovic and his team if they can pull this off. Xhaka towards Gavranovic. Mehmedi, oh, Pogba picked his pocket, away he goes, charging through the Swiss midfielder. Kanji very crudely steps across him and blocks him. He did get the pass away, couldn't find Mbappe. Akanji has to be booked. He is booked.
Yeah, Pogba, first of all, read the situation, pickpockets Mehmedi, and drives away from him, and it opens up, and Akanji vacates his area centrally in that back three, challenges Pogba, brings him down. Pogba was trying to slide, Mbappe in. A free kick for France, opportunity.
Giroud's waiting, edge of the penalty area, and N'Golo Kante stands over the free kick. 3 minutes gone in the second period of extra time. France 3, Switzerland 3. Kante goes low to his right with his left foot. Cross comes into the penalty area. Xhaka.
What an unbelievable performance from Xhaka tonight. I don't think I've ever seen him play as well.
Inspired with that Swiss flag on his chest. What did you call them? The Rosso Crociati, didn't you, on your tweet?
Yeah, you say it better than me, Bruce, but you've spent time in Italy, haven't you?
Have 3.5 minutes gone. France 3, Switzerland 3. Can someone carve out an opportunity? Diagonal ball. Lloris just keeps that in play, right on the edge of his box, sticks out a left arm, just about to go across the line and pats it back to himself. Oh, Kante, good skill, beats two men, still moving forward. Giroud running ahead of him, eventually just runs into too much traffic, but wins it back again. Coman, this will test the hamstring. Manages to beat Freuler, cut back to Mbappe, doesn't hit it properly, and drags it wide of the left-hand post and behind for a goal kick.
Do you know what? I'm not sure Coman is moving all that well at all. I mean, most people would be happy moving that quickly, but he does look like he's got a problem. But he pulls the ball back. Edge of the box, and Mbappe, it's a lazy effort, left-footed, 18 yards, a yard past the far post. No trouble for Sommer.
Switzerland lose it inside their own half. France 3, Switzerland 3. Sissoko driving forward down the right-hand side. White shirts surround him. Pogba stretches, controlled that ball brilliantly. Kante under pressure. Gavranovic almost took it off him. Sissoko side foots a pass back to Varane. Just over 10 minutes to play. 10 minutes away from the penalty shootout to decide who will play Spain in the quarterfinals. Coman on the floor finds Pogba. Pogba slides it through. Mbappe slices wide at the near post, and now he's hobbling.
Well, I think he goes with the wrong foot. What a ball from Pogba. It's a brilliant slide rule pass in between centre-back and full-back, and nobody's catching Mbappe in that situation. Coman does well to keep it alive. He's onside, Mbappe, and he lets the ball run across his body onto his left foot, and it's a horrible effort. Horrible effort. I think he has time to go right foot and just feed it into the far corner. Gets his timing all wrong and slices it horribly wide, well wide, and pulls up with something.
Just holding the back of his knee, but oh, he is He's hobbling, or is it one of those, Chris, and you can tell me this having played the game, when you miss one like that, you think, oh, it hurts.
I'll blame a knee injury. There's Coman off.
Kingsley Coman's off, so he's finally given him Marcus Thuram, Lillian's son, remember him, on the field for France. Cross comes into the French penalty area, too close to Hugo Lloris. A 23-year-old Marcus Thuram, who's been an injury concern in this tournament for France anyway, plays his club football for Borussia Mönchengladbach, son of Lillian, who won 142 caps for France, part of that World Cup winning team 98, Euro 2000, along with Didier Deschamps. Here is Thuram, beats Freuler, cross comes in, slice clearance by Elvedi, that looked tired, goes behind for the corner. France 3, Switzerland 3.
What a start from Thuram on that left-hand side, goes past 2 Swiss defenders, whips a ball in left-footed, and panic stations from Elvedi.
Mbappe's knee looks okay.
Yeah, I think you called that right, Bruce. We've all done it.
Short corner taken quickly. Rabiot back to Mbappe, can't quite reach him. Well intercepted. That was Vargas in there. Saw the danger, zipped in and knocks it away for a French throw. Mbappe's doing his shoelaces up now on his bright green boots. Only gone for a single as well. That can come undone quite easily. Possibly would have gone double there. 8 minutes left in the game.
I tell you what, he's had a really poor tournament. Before the tournament, he was my tip for player of the tournament. He hasn't turned up. I mean, arguably, he could have been taken off by Deschamps in this game. I mean, he really has been poor. You know, we hear it. He has a big influence off the pitch. Well, he needs to have an influence on the pitch. Hasn't done so, but the thing is, you just wouldn't write him off just yet.
Well, you'd imagine he'll take a penalty if needed. 7.5 minutes gone, so we're midway through the second period of extra time. France 3, Switzerland 3. Jan Sommer with a free kick for Switzerland, the goalkeeper. Long downfield, Kimpembe wins the header, powers it downfield. Giroud chases. Thuram can't get there either. Mbappe lofts one up in the air. Xhaka leaps, nods it down. Elvedi side foots a pass back here to Akanji. Left-footed pass, looking to split the French defence. Rabiot on the turn, has it covered and lets it run out for a throw-in in that left-back position. Rabiot's throw down the left. Thuram was hoping it was going to bounce over Mbappe. Just got enough on it. The Swiss right wing-back. Freuler into Xhaka. Xhaka to his right, finds Mehmedi. Down the line here to Mbappe. Little flick with the outside of his right boot. Neat passing from Switzerland inside the French half. France 3, Switzerland 3. 7 minutes remaining in the game. And then it's penalties. Rabiot taking a risk inside his own half. Did well. Kante up towards Mbappe. Lays it off to Giroud. Good first-time pass. Brilliant from Pogba. Drives the pass with his right foot to Thuram. He's inside the Swiss penalty area. Cut back, and the shot from Giroud is blocked. I think Freuler got his body in the way, and it spins away.
Was it his own player?
Was it?
What a pass this is from Pogba. The ball laid back from Mbappe into Giroud, who pops the ball back to Pogba. One bounce and then a lazy, languid pass. Lovely pass, though, out to Thuram on the left-hand side, who feeds the ball back to Giroud, 12 yards out. Gets it.
Who did it hit?
Mbappe.
Yeah.
In the backside.
3-3. 6 minutes to play. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Croatia 3, Spain 5. We brought you that drama earlier on today. Could well have penalties on the way here this evening. Don't go anywhere. England, Germany. This is the station to be listening to tomorrow for that one. Build-up starts from 3:30 at Wembley. John Murray, Chris Waddle, Karen Carney and Micah Richards. Chris and Robbie taking the calls later on in the evening. We've also got Sweden-Ukraine live from Hampden Park, the 8 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night. Ball played up to the halfway line. Varane cushions a volley, intercepted by Mehmedi.
Here we go.
Chance for Switzerland here. Varane's back there, really important challenge. One in the right back position. Good pass away down the right as well. Sissoko closed down by Akanji, is able to turn, flicks it past him, goes down, wins the free kick.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, Akanji. It's on a yellow. Bruce, I've lost count of everything here.
He is.
Great feet by Sissoko on the byline. It skips past Akanji, brings him down. Maybe fortunate there not to see a second yellow.
5 minutes to go. France 3, Switzerland 3.
Both teams are thinking, come on, give us one more opportunity.
Rabiot chased, plays the ball with his left foot Back to Varane inside the centre circle, across to Pogba, who in this extra time, I think because he was the one who lost the ball in the build-up to the late Swiss equaliser, he's looked desperate to make amends, to try and make it happen for France. You imagine he'll take a penalty as well. Unless someone can settle this in the next 5 minutes. Sissoko back to Pogba. Pogba running from right to left. Swiss defenders backing off. Little trick from Pogba. Tries to nip through a gap. Kante wins a tackle. Cleared.
Release the ball quicker. And Xhaka getting caught then.
Pogba.
Tiredness creeping in.
Played to Pavard. Pavard's cross in. Very nearly reached Thuram. Giroud wants to win this on the edge of the box. Just cleared by Fasnacht on the turn. High in the air it goes. Varane is underneath the header inside his own half. Rabiot jumps in. Oh, might break for Mehmedi. Now Mehmedi's on his own at the moment. Turns away from goal. Realised he didn't have the support to go through.
I think they've ran themselves out, the Swiss.
Look tired, don't they?
Well, both teams look like they're settling for penalties inside. They don't want penalties though, Bruce, do they?
Well,
imagine your little heart pumping now.
Horrible way to go out. Horrible way to go out, whoever that happens to. France 3, Switzerland 3.
That was a
miscontrol.
Tired touch
by Fasnacht. Long ball play to him. It's come off his toe. And it's gone out for a throw into France in the left-back position. What a performance from Switzerland this evening. France, the pre-tournament favourites, the world champions, ranked number 2 in the world. And Switzerland have fought them all the way and could easily have won this game. Just been passed a note that says we're on air until 11 o'clock.
The penalties might not be finished by then.
Could be trouble. Xhaka, fouled by Pogba. Free kick, Switzerland.
Good battle, that, hasn't it?
Yeah, really good battle. Two striking figures, dominant figures in central midfield. Pogba really unhappy, waving his hands at the referee. Deschamps looks nervous. Set piece opportunity. Applause all around the National Arena in Bucharest. People have thoroughly enjoyed the entertainment. 2 minutes to go. France 3, Switzerland 3. Akanji shoots from 50 yards, and can it turn into a French counter-attack? Vargas tackles Sissoko, and the ball goes out for a French throw.
He's such an intelligent player, Akanji, but I mean that was utterly ridiculous.
Sissoko
across 50 yards out,
crosses the halfway line.
The goalkeeper's on his line.
That's tiredness, isn't it? Messing with your mind. Just couldn't think of anything else to do. Kimpembe bringing the ball forward. Plays it out to the left to Rabiot.
That's delusion. That's what that was.
Yeah, Rabiot's cross cleared as far as Kimpembe. 90 seconds to play, plus any added time if there is any. Mbappe's tackle. Why is the referee whirling his left arm? Is it? Oh, he's saying earlier foul. Play on. Free kick taken. Kante to Mbappe. Swiss have got to concentrate now. Mbappe's cross comes in. Can't find Giroud. He just needs one good delivery into that penalty area. Such a good header of the ball. This might be it. Kimpembe looks for Giroud with the header. Sommer saves. Full stretch, flying to his right-hand side. Giroud thought he'd won it.
Mystic Bruce, aren't you? I mean, Giroud just peels off the centre-half, does so well. And the ball is on the money. Similar to position to where Seferovic scored from. Giroud, and he tries to power the ball into the far top corner.
Ooh.
Sommer makes the save.
Switzerland go quickly downfield. Free kick conceded by France. Shooting range. Gavranovic has gone down. Let's have a look where the foul took place.
It's Rabiot.
Rabiot's pushed him in the... big old dive.
Down easily there. He's better than that. But what an opportunity. Could this be the last kick?
Could be. This is
Xhaka.
Oh, pile driver from Xhaka.
He couldn't.
He could.
He can't.
He could. Little semicircle of vanishing spray in front of the ball. Three-man French wall. Xhaka looking like Ivan Drago with his jet blonde hair. Can he step up and deliver the knockout blow? Freuler's there as well, but you're right. Stage set for Granit Xhaka. Freuler dummies it. Here he comes with his left foot. Oh, come on.
Couldn't.
Over the bar. Swears at himself. I think we're going to penalties, Chris. Oh, that's it. Full-time whistle blows. Penalty shootout to decide who's going through to the quarter-finals. What a performance from Switzerland. They've not only held the world champions, but they have really threatened to beat them this evening. And I think France, even though they led 3-1, can count themselves a little bit lucky they've not gone out before this penalty shootout. Steve?
Oh my goodness me, this is unbelievable. Magic Monday just continues to deliver, doesn't it?
Magic Monday, mad Monday. What an incredible evening. I mean, it really is. And the way the Swiss have played, I mean, they have slugged it out. They've been the better team. And when you think that this French team, my tips to win it, I mean, they're lucky to still be in this competition. They've had the odd moment of magic, but they've got to dig deep now. And then the conversation we had earlier about Lloris, his penalty record. What's going to happen, Bruce?
Well, can't make the change now.
Is Julian there still? What does he think should happen, or has he gone to bed?
Jules isn't with us. I think Jules loves us, Chris, but there's no way he is going to speak to us 5 minutes before France have a penalty shootout. We're actually just looking at pictures of Lloris now, though, who's going round and chatting to his teammates.
Yeah, 3 out of 6 in major tournaments, France, and they've had some horrible heartbreakers.
I want to talk about his record.
OK, so this was a piece on The Athletic I read. Of all the goalkeepers in the tournament, he has the lowest save percentage from penalties in his career, less than 10%. He's saved one tonight, but he's not known for doing it.
Ali, Jules is back with us.
Oh.
Jules, are you OK?
Just about. just my heart is going to explode. And just to follow what Ali was just saying on Lloris, he had failed to save any of his last 16 penalties for France until the one tonight. So it's fair to say that that's not, certainly with the national team, that's not his best asset.
Well, I've got a nice quote for you as well, which is that one of the chants that the Swiss fans sing is Zum Glück Sommer, no das Sommer, which means luckily we still have summer. That is one of their chants, and that's the Swiss team you can hear cheering in the background. So if you were going to back a goalkeeper now, Jules, it might not be yours.
Maybe, although they lost on penalties in the last tournament as well. So at this stage of the competition, and Granit Xhaka missed that pen. So I don't know. I think it's all in the head now. It's all in the mindset. It's all in the minds of who's going to have the strongest nerves, can cope with the pressure the best, pick the right spots with the right power in the shot. Not too much, not enough. And I think it's there. And I think this is where you also count the great players that you can have, the ones who can cope the pressure the most.
Are you feeling lucky, Jules? Any baguettes turned upside down today?
If you remember how you say hairdryer in French, I think that would make me more optimistic.
No, Chris hasn't got a chance there.
Oh my God, I can't even count on you. I thought we were friends.
The Swiss have made too many subs.
Who's going to take the penalties, by the way, Jules?
I think Mbappe, Giroud.
Would you bet on Mbappe after his performance?
I know that chance at the end, the ball from Pogba, and then why does he go on his left foot? I will never know. And then pretends that we've all done this. Pretend to be injured when you miss something huge, and then you go, but no, he wasn't injured. We knew that. I don't know. Giroud, maybe Thuram, but again, young player, never been there before. It's a big gamble. Pogba will take one, I think. Sissoko should, certainly in terms of experience. Not sure he's one of the greatest penalty takers, but you'll have to go with the ones who feel it the most, I guess, and the ones who will say to Deschamps, I want to take it. You can't go there if you feel like it, if you don't feel comfortable.
Jacques has won the coin toss, and I think Switzerland are going to take first. OK?
Last time, Ali, that Switzerland won a knockout game at any major tournament, 1938, on penalties, in Paris.
OK.
Just the world champions in front of them.
We're in Little Paris.
Yes, Bucharest, known as Little Paris. Referee is speaking to both goalkeepers. Obviously, message will be, got to have some part of your body on the line. VAR.
Oh, yeah.
Penalties.
Guaranteed there'll be a moment, Bruce.
Yep. First shootout of the Euro, Switzerland taking first. Hugo Lloris has saved one in the game. France 3, Switzerland 3, it's finished. The winners of the shootout go through to the quarterfinals against Spain, and it's Gavranovic who is coming forward in his white Swiss shirt, and he's bouncing the ball very confidently on the ground twice. He's wiping it dry. Hugo Lloris just moves his towel to the left-hand side of the goal and looks up to the heavens. Gavranovic has placed the ball on the spot.
I'm nervous.
And is staring at it. As I was saying, the French have had some heartbreaking penalty shootout defeats. Go back to 1982 that World Cup semi-final against West Germany, the Schumacher challenge on Battiston, and losing that one 5-4 to West Germany. Lost a Euro semi-final in '96 to the Czech Republic, lost a World Cup final in 2006. Lloris flapping his arms in the air.
I think he just tugged the crossbar there, didn't he?
Referee saying cut that out, Sunshine.
Stop tugging the crossbar, Lloris.
Star jumps from Hugo Lloris, has saved one in the game. Gavranovic has had to wait a long time. He was up there early, whistle blows. Deep breath from the Swiss striker with his right foot, top corner. Lloris goes to his left, Gavranovic with a fantastic finish, scored a great goal to take it into extra time. That was cool, Chris.
Yeah, huge penalty, the first one. Swiss go 1-0 up. Gavranovic shapes to go to the left, whips it across Lloris, sends him the wrong way, and here's Pogba.
Pogba with the patriotic blue splash at the front of his hair, staring straight ahead. Now, when we've seen him take penalties before, there's sometimes this little stutter step, the sort of slow, cool walk towards the ball. What's he going to do here? He's taking 7, 8, 9, 10 very purposeful steps back. He's outside the penalty area. He's not looking at Sommer. Switzerland have scored their first. Pogba pauses. Still he pauses. He's focusing. Now comes the moment. Stutter steps, right foot. Oh, fabulous penalty. Whips it into the top corner, nods at Sommer and says, you're not saving that. 1-1. Chris.
3 Sommers wouldn't have saved that. Blimey, what a penalty. That went right into the top corner, whipped it across Sommer, similar to Gravanovich's penalty, but even better.
Fabian Schär of Newcastle steps up next, the centre-back, on as a sub in this game, looks a little anxious. 1-1, 2 brilliant penalties to start the shootout. He wants that whistle to come. Here we go. Fabian Schär, strokes it in so casually, so confidently, just strolled up to the ball, side foots it to the left of Lloris. He dived to the right, and it's 2-1 Switzerland.
Oh, really cool. Schär thinking as he steps up to take it, we're thinking he's going to miss. Slow run up though, looked at Lloris and then pops it into the corner. Wonderful penalty.
Big man Olivier Giroud kisses the ball. Just make sure that the penalty spot is okay. Just sort of treads down the turf around it.
Didier Deschamps kissing his ring finger there.
Yeah. Giroud, this is going to be a short run-up. Whistle blows. This is to make it 2-2. Giroud again, like Pogba, pauses with his left foot, sends Sommer the wrong way. Great penalty. Into the back of the net, France 2, Switzerland 2.
Yeah, and looks up to the heavens. Giroud, cool as you like. 1, 2, 3 steps. And whips it across Sommer, who dives to his right. Giroud, the other corner. 4 brilliant penalties. We drew a bad one.
4 penalties, all scored. Switzerland 2, France 2 in the shootout. Just imagine if England-Germany goes to this tomorrow. You will not be able to bear it. Akanji. Now, Lloris is delaying him here. Lloris is just pacing up and down his goal line, and he's making him wait. Hugo Lloris, ready for Switzerland's 3rd penalty. Loud blast on the whistle, right-footed into the bottom corner. It's another fabulous penalty, this time from the Borussia Dortmund centre-back Manuel Akanji. Strides away. Switzerland are 3 out of 3, and France have got to match it.
So much courage and conviction with the penalty takers so far. Akanji, a couple of quick steps, then steadies himself, looks at Lloris. Lloris stands up. Akanji strokes the ball into the corner of the net. 3-2.
Marcus Thuram steps forward.
The pressure, Bruce.
Son of Lillian, who achieved such great things with the national team. Blinking, staring at the ball, hands on hips. France's 3rd penalty. Here he comes. Slow run to the ball with his right foot. Sommer goes the right way. He's beaten him. What a penalty again. It had to be right in the corner. The goalkeeper gets the right way, and the ball has actually wrapped itself up in the back of the net. Great penalty.
Yeah. Wrapped that into the corner. Thuram, the pressure really building, and the slow run up. What he's thinking there, keep Sommer up, keep him standing up, and backs himself. He's going to find the corner with pace, and he did do.
Well, you pity the poor person who's eventually going to miss. You think of Manchester United in that Europa League final, went all the way to the goalkeepers. It was David De Gea who missed that time. 3-3 at the moment, BBC Radio 5 Live. France 3, Switzerland 3 in the shootout, as it was in the game. Ruben Vargas next up for Switzerland with his right foot. Lloris got a hand, couldn't keep it out. Switzerland are 4 out of 4. Lloris just didn't have enough strength in his hand to keep the ball out of the back of the net, and Switzerland have the advantage again.
Yeah, he stands up, Lloris does. Vargas whips it across him. I think Lloris is thinking he's going to go down the middle there and reacts. Too late, gets a hand to it. Should the French have changed goalkeepers?
No one has gone down the middle yet, Chris. No. That's an interesting point. No one's gone dink. No one's gone down the middle.
Who's going to Panenka it now? What idiot's going to do that?
Pirlo did it, didn't he? No. Against England.
But the pressure now is unbearable.
Kimpembe, France are the world champions.
Centre-half taking a penalty.
Pre-tournament favourites. The pressure is on them. Switzerland have the advantage in the shootout. This is France's 4th penalty. Kimpembe. Here he comes with his left foot against Sommer, curls it into the top corner and roars at the French fans to celebrate the penalty. Griezmann can't take one, Benzema can't take one, both off the field, and Kimpembe, does the business.
The emotion in his face, but it was brilliant. The pace, the power, the accuracy, whips it into the top corner. Sommer went the right way, got nowhere near it. But here it is, sudden death.
Well, one penalty away each from sudden death, and effectively at this point, as you say, if Switzerland score and France miss, or the other way round, one of them's through. Mehmedi with his right foot for Switzerland, strokes it into the bottom corner. Lloris dived the wrong way. Switzerland 5 out of 5. If France miss, Switzerland are through to the quarter-finals for the first time at a major tournament since 1954.
Yeah, coolest man in the stadium. Mehmedi strokes it to Lloris's left. Lloris dives right. Here we go, Mbappe.
Wow.
He's had a terrible tournament. Terrible tournament, a hopeless miss towards the end of extra time.
22 years old, a superstar of the game, but this is pressure, this is real pressure. He knows if he misses, the favourites are out. Mbappe gets ready to go, has to score, to take it to sudden death with his right foot. Sommer saves! Mbappe couldn't deliver. Mbappe's asking the referee if someone was off his line too early. The Swiss can't celebrate just yet. They can now. It's been cleared. The Swiss have done it. Kylian Mbappe has seen his penalty saved. And the world champions are knocked out of Euro 2020 in the last 16 by Switzerland, who never previously have beaten them in a competitive international. They were 3-1 down going into the last 10 minutes of the game, found themselves 2 goals, and Kylian Mbappe looks absolutely forlorn. A fabulous football player, but when the moment came from 12 yards out, he couldn't deliver. And can you believe it? On an incredible day at Euro 2020, the French are out and Switzerland will play Spain in the quarter-finals.
Just amazing. There are French players on the knees, on the floor, lying on their backs in tears. But the Swiss have deserved this. They were the more courageous team. It went to penalties. These two countries, close relations. But it's the man who we all thought was going to be the star of the tournament who fluffed his lines. Mbappe whipped it to Sommer's right. The summertime, wasn't it? What a save. Brilliant save. Great scenes for the Swiss. They have thoroughly deserved this. Their penalties were faultless, flawless. Courage, conviction, and they got the job done.
Well, it's the classic contrast at the moment, and your heart goes out to Kylian Mbappe. He's already left the field. He turned on his heel, head down, walked straight off the pitch. Didier Deschamps did stop him, did console him. He will be inconsolable. But then you look at the joy and the celebrations and the performance and the effort and the energy and the result for Switzerland. That is one of the greatest results, Chris. It has to be in their history.
If not the greatest result in their history, when you think that the team they were playing, a formidable team. Just seeing the Mbappe penalty again, his left foot is on the line, Sommer, and the ball looks like it's arrowing halfway into the net, but Sommer gets a big left hand to it, palms it out. And then great scenes, wonderful scenes.
I'm no expert, Chris, so I know you will shoot me down. That looked a little cautious from Mbappe. Tentative. He's not gone for the corner.
Player, missed chances. He hasn't been quite right in the tournament. The French star man, but he fluffed his lines. In the big moment, he didn't step up. And we said Vladimir Petkovic had that look like Hannibal Smith in the A-team. A plan came together, Bruce, didn't it, for him? Perfect. The Swiss performance. Xhaka, what a game he had. When have we seen him play like that for Arsenal?
Chris, they were 3-1 down against the world champions in the last 10 minutes.
They were finished.
Pogba had just whipped that one into the top corner. They were dead and buried. Didier Deschamps has been applauding the French fans. As a player, he won a World Cup in 1998 and backed it up with the Euros in 2000. Trying to do that as a manager, having won the World Cup in Russia, not able to do it. And full credit to the Swiss. What a night for them in Bucharest.
Absolutely. Interesting if Jules may have gone to bed, but will this be the end for Deschamps? Because it's been a poor tournament for them. Great scenes, though. The Swiss players celebrating, the Swiss fans in the stadium going absolutely nuts, but they have deserved it. They were the team with courage. They were the players who stepped up with the penalties, who had the courage and the belief, and then Sommer came up with the big moment, and the Swiss go through.
Sommer with the save. And the Swiss penalty takers, all of them heroes. Gavranovic, Fabian Schär, Manuel Akanji, Ruben Vargas and Mehmedi. 5 out of 5, and Mbappe missed the 5th for France. Switzerland through to the quarterfinals against Spain. Steve, what was the Sommer chant the Swiss say? We need it now.
Zum Gluck Ommer, no Dart Sommer. Luckily, we still have Sommer.
Yeah.
Wow, staggering. I've just seen a wonderful image there as well of Sommer getting a massive hug from Vladimir Petkovic. You were talking there, Ali, about the history of Didier Deschamps. Vladimir Petkovic worked in a charity shop. He was a social worker. Football is the great leveller. And oh my God, 83 years, Chris. 83 years since Switzerland last won a knockout round game at any major tournament. Incredible.
Unbelievable. Social worker to miracle worker. But do you know what? The way they played, and touched on this, that they were a real team. They played well in this tournament, but they didn't just lump the ball up the pitch. They played out from the back. The way they play with the 3 centre-halves, they're brave. They don't play a back 5. The wing-backs, they push in and they press the ball, but the courage they showed on the ball, the chances they created, coming up against this formidable French team. We can talk about the French not getting started in the tournament. You look at both teams, compare them player for player, you're thinking, there wouldn't be a Swiss player who gets in that French team, but that's what they were, a team. They were together, they were organised, they were slick, they had belief, they are set out, high-risk football they played, but they played it so well, and we have to credit the manager for that, for the organisation, for the belief which they had in the team, for the camaraderie, and they're celebrating now with the Swiss fans, and you just wonder. I've even forgotten who they're playing, Bruce, next up, but Spain. There you go. I mean, not too difficult to forget really, but I mean the way they played, you wouldn't put them past knocking Spain out.
I'm going to read you the quote again, Chris, from the end of extra time, because it's pertinent once more. Vladimir Petkovic. Football is like climbing a mountain. The higher you go, the thinner the air, the stronger you have to be. Well, 5 penalties, 5 scored. They've beaten the world champions.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the penalties tonight, and Ali touched on it about Mbappe's penalty lacked a bit of conviction. You didn't see the Swiss players flinch with the penalties. I can't tell you how difficult, how high pressurised that situation is. I mean, it's life-defining there. Rodriguez missed a penalty in the game, didn't he? Huge moment, and he'll sleep. He might not sleep tonight, but he'll sleep a little bit easier because his team have gone through. Had they gone out, he would never ever get over that for the rest of his life. So good for him. and good for the Swiss team. But some of the penalties, how cool they were, how calm they were. But it's an interesting debate that Bruce brought up about Lloris. I wonder, you know, we can bring that back.
Yeah.
Would that have influenced Deschamps' decision? Had he not saved a penalty?
Do you
in the
also
game?
think if Mbappe deep inside was feeling, do you know what? I mean, he's put his hand up for the last penalty there. I bet he almost feels he's got to do that, because what does it say to his teammates if he thinks, no, I'm not been, you know, he almost is forced into taking that penalty, and he didn't look comfortable.
It reminded me of Shevchenko's penalty in the Champions League final for Milan against Liverpool. He looked like somebody you might be thinking more about what's come before than what was happening in that moment. We can now bring Jules back in as well. Jules, I mean, obviously it's an incredible story for Switzerland, but I feel for you, man.
Thank you. The hardest bit is to see the children crying. You know, that's the always same with PSG, and we've had too many times of those as well. But yeah, it's, and I will go back to what we said before and what we said against Hungary and all of that. There's a point where complacency costs you, and I'm sorry, you 3-1 up with 10 minutes to go and you think you've won the game, but you haven't won the game. And you think you've won the game, and you made some substitutions to try to control the game. I'm not sure if it was wise to take off Griezmann the way Deschamps did, because he was still a threat and he was holding the ball up well and high up on the pitch, far higher up than Sissoko, for example, who replaced him. You can't take things for granted at that kind of level. And the boys are right. The Swiss never gave up. They kept going. They went on to that French left-hand side where Rabiot was that makeshift left back who did okay. But then that cross for the second goal comes from Mbappe on that side. And I'm sure had they insisted a bit more, the Swiss on that side, they could have maybe had more luck scoring goals. And then the Gavranovic right at the end, I think, is a dagger. And after that, you've got chances. If you don't take one of those, it's over. And I you know what, I knew when the penalty started that they would have felt like they had all the momentum going, because France had the more chances in extra time compared to the Swiss. And on the other hand, we were like, I think we missed our chance in that extra time bit, and then we saw it. And for Kylian, it's heartbreaking. But if you had asked me before, between Marcus Thuram, who is nowhere near as talented as Kylian Mbappe, nowhere near the same experience at a similar age, if between the two, who would have felt the most pressure to the point of missing it, I would have said Thuram and not Mbappe either.
I mean, I feel most awful for your kids, because I know exactly how it feels to be that age and watch your nation lose in a penalty shootout at the Euros. But close behind is Kylian Mbappe, because, you know, the look on his face after that penalty was saved was quite haunting, actually.
Yeah, you're right. And Chris said it just before penalties when you said who do you think will take them, and I said Mbappe because he has to, and Chris said do you think, because he had such a not a bad game, but he missed some big chances that you didn't expect him or you would not think he would miss. I don't know what kind of mindset he was in going to that pen. He looked serene to me. I knew he would be the runner, because that's what he does, but it's a poor pen. It's a really poor pen, and I think it's such a shame. I think he always wanted to take fifth one, because the fifth one is also the one that can win you those kind of penalty shootout, but you can also lose it for your team. And that's what happened to him. He's still a young player. He will have plenty more chances to win something, but it's disappointing to come out this way. And again, I think that overall we will debate and discuss Deschamps, and I think complacency cost us late in the game, but you can't give Switzerland a head start like this by not playing for 45 minutes because you got the wrong tactics and the wrong formation. They should have never started the game with the back three. Never in a million years. I tweeted at half-time, there was one team that were used playing with the back three, that was Switzerland, who had worked on it, Switzerland, who had the players for it, Switzerland, and there was us. Why would you go to a back three having never worked on it? Not even the players to play that formation in a game like this is just beyond me. And I think even if you were much better in the second half and you came back and you were in a position to win this, eventually complacency plus this crazy idea of a back three for the first 45 minutes cost you dearly in the end.
Jules, what's going to happen to Deschamps now? Is he under pressure?
No, at all. He will be heavily criticised by me, by us, by L'Équipe, by Le Parisien, by France Football, by radios and TVs in France. But he's got a contract until December 2022 after the Qatar World Cup. And they're even thinking about extending that to after the Euros 2024 in Germany. And the French Federation love him. Our chairman loves him. He will want to continue, I think, because he can always hide behind the fact that it was penalties. He will say, it's the lottery and we were unlucky and we were this. This is not true. He messed up tonight, Deschamps. This is his failure. As much as Fernando Santos messed up for Portugal, as much as Frank de Boer messed up for Holland, this is similar. This back three was his idea, and that was the wrong idea. And that's on him. This failure is on him, big time. He had the best squad in the tournament by far. Yeah. And like you said, Chris, at half-time, we didn't see anything collectively in this tournament, apart from maybe the first half against Germany, where we were really solid in a game that suited us. Apart from that, for me, he relied far too much on this incredible front three and Pogba and the work rate of N'Golo Kanté. And this is it. And there was not enough collectively from what that team produced in the 4 games that we've seen to show us what kind of work he's done and the kind of idea that he had to go and win this tournament. Because as we've been saying all along, Steve, the real Euros started today for France, and it started today for all the big teams. Group stages don't count anymore. And look, we came short, and we didn't deserve to go through in the end.
I mean, that's the most galling thing, Julian, isn't it? The fact that this Swiss team were actually better in the 120 minutes than the French team.
Yeah, apart from the half-hour, exceptional half-hour we had in our second half, where we were really the level. But you can't do that for more. Why? Why can't you play like this in the first half? Again, leave aside the back three, because you can have an idea tactically, and we all have our own ideas, and it might work, and sometimes it doesn't work, and we see it with Pep Guardiola, and we see it with a lot of managers at club level as well. Fair enough. But even with the back three, you should have played better collectively than what you did. That was not good enough anyway. Then you go to a back four, you have 25 amazing minutes, or let's say 20 amazing minutes, and then you try to control, it's counterproductive, and then you end up conceding 2 goals in a way that you should never concede 2 goals. And I just think that it was not good enough overall, apart from little bits in certain games. Second half against Portugal, first half against Germany, a little bit in that second half against Hungary, those 20 minutes tonight in that second half against Switzerland. But overall, not enough consistency, not enough quality collectively. I mean, not individually, because individually we saw some great stuff for Pogba and from Benzema and from Kanté and all of that, no problem. But collectively, it was not enough. And it's almost like if Deschamps relied on almost a 7+3. You've got that front three, let them do their thing. But again, it's not enough. And then the other 7 who can defend together, who can try to do something else, and maybe Pogba link it a bit. But yeah, I don't think it was enough. I'm so disappointed. I know,
mate. I hope you're still coming to see me later this week in Manchester, though.
Of course. Thursday we're together.
Goodness for that. Jules, thank you very much. Tough night, but really appreciate it.
Say hello to you guys.
Chris, Ali, thank you very much. We'll have loads more on the Daily Euros about England, Germany, and that crazy game as well between Spain and Croatia, plus more reaction to what we've just seen. The World Cup holders are out of the Euros. Switzerland march on. Mabina Zars next on 5 Live.
The voice of the UK. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
BBC News at 11 o'clock. This is Nick Qureshi. The new Health Secretary, Sajid Javid, has ruled out ending England's lockdown measures early on July the 5th, but says he sees no reason to go beyond the target date of July the 19th. He told MPs the government was aiming for around 2/3 of all adults to have had 2 doses of a coronavirus vaccine by that date. Matt Hancock had to resign as Health Secretary on Saturday after breaching lockdown guidance. Our correspondent Rob Watson was asked if Mr Javid would take a different approach to easing restrictions.
He's a self-declared lockdown sceptic, but of course it's worth remembering the number 1 lockdown sceptic is Boris Johnson, so he's got the biggest voice. I don't think it changes things very much. I think this is a government that is absolutely determined, if it absolutely can, if nothing really weird happens in the next few weeks, to ease the final lockdown on July 19th. Whether it was still Matt Hancock there, Sajid Javid, I think the Prime Minister is pretty determined to lift.
British people travelling to some of the most popular holiday destinations in Europe are facing new COVID restrictions on their arrival. Only fully vaccinated holidaymakers can avoid a fortnight's quarantine in Portugal, while Spain and Malta are also introducing tighter measures. The first part of a new counter-terrorism operations centre has been unveiled in south-west London. The Home Secretary, Priti Patel, says it will allow those involved in countering the terror threat to work much more collaboratively and effectively and make everyone in the UK safer. Canada has recorded its highest ever temperature as the west of the country and the northwest United States experience an unprecedented heatwave. Lytton in British Columbia hit 46.6 Celsius yesterday, with the region covered by what is being described as a heat dome. Joanna Wagstaff, who's a weather forecaster at CBC in Canada, says this acts like a lid on a cooking pot.
A heat dome is essentially a huge high-pressure ridge. We get sinking air around a high pressure, and that basically acts like a cap, locking in and cooking the air below. This is something nobody has seen before, how strong this heat dome is.
In tennis, Andy Murray has made a dramatic winning return to Wimbledon, beating Georgia's Nicolas Basilashvili in 4 sets. The former champion said it had been extremely tough to return to the sport after battling injuries, but it would be wrong to count him out.
I keep getting asked, is this going to be my last Wimbledon, last match? No, I'm going to keep playing. I want to play. I'm enjoying it, and I can still play at the highest level. I mean, he's ranked 28 in the world, and I haven't hardly played any match and I beat him, so I keep going.
Britain's Jack Draper fared less well on the first day of the tournament and was knocked out in 4 sets by the defending champion Novak Djokovic. And in Euro 2020, Spain defeated Croatia 5-3 in extra time. And Switzerland have just beaten the world champions France 5-4 on penalties after being tied 3-3 in extra time in Bucharest. BBC News, it's 11 minutes.
BBC Sounds. Bring on the summer with music mixes from BBC Sounds. Live your best life with the Happy Hour.
I'm Katie Thistleton. I'm going to guide you through an hour of happy songs that will leave you feeling so, so good.
Take it right back with the Throwback Thursday mix. And get ready to party with Sophie Ellis-Bextor's Kitchen Disco.
Nothing but sing-along, dance-along tunes. Turn up the music and throw some shapes.
Music mixes to make your summer. Listen on the BBC Sounds app.
BBC Radio 5 Live.
The voice of the UK.
Mobeen Azhar.
Listen live, pause, rewind and discover with the BBC Sounds app.
Yes, hello, my friends. Colin Murray is away for the next 2 weeks, so I'm lucky enough to be sitting in this seat talking to all you lovely people. I am Mobeen Azhar, and welcome to Monday night. Colin, if you're listening, I know that last time you were away, you became a regular caller to the show, but I promise there's nothing for you to worry about. Weeknights on 5 Live are still all about community, connection, and late night conversation. Nobody is more part of that than Dr. Chris Smith. Yes, the Naked Scientist will be here after midnight. So get in touch with your questions. 08085 909 693 is the number to call. You can text us 85058 or tweet at BBC 5 Live. Before then, after such a ridiculous day of football, we'll be with Spanish, Croatian, French and Swiss fans. And ahead of tomorrow's match, if you're German and living in England, we want to welcome you to the Lates family tonight. No negative stuff at all, I promise you. We're going to be celebrating German food, German music, German culture. This is a studio full of cold meats and bratwurst and German beer at the moment. It's that kind of vibe. That's what we're aiming for. We want to get you involved. So if you've got German connections, I want you to educate us tonight about the best things in Germany. And, the stuff that no one outside Germany would know about. But obviously, if this happens again...
Lampard! Brilliant! It was in now! That surely crossed the line! It's not been given! Surely that was it!
Well, if that happens again, the whole programme will be deleted and we'll just pretend we never did this. But at the moment, at least, I promise we will be celebrating all things German in a little bit. So I'm not saying that some people on this team perhaps lack a bit of confidence in my, I would call, forensic football knowledge. But I came in tonight to find out that I've got a friend for the next couple of weeks on the show. It is presenter, reporter, commentator, and often the voice of our late night sport. It is Aaron Paul. Aaron, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good. It is a Jan Sommer of love. Do you get it?
I do get it. It has been such a ridiculous evening of football. It really has. Before we get into that, remind us of where exactly we are in the tournament.
Well, we are at the round of 16 and we've seen some big giants fall. You know, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Obviously, we lost the Netherlands on Sunday. Portugal were knocked out by Belgium on Sunday night, which was, I mean, two great games of football. But then today, the thriller between Croatia and Spain was absolutely phenomenal. For Spain to be 3-1 up, to go to 3-3, and then for it to have to go to extra time for them to win it 5-3 was unbelievable. But then, you know, they saved the best till last.
It's
the footballing
upset, isn't it?
What the footballing gods? What an absolutely phenomenal game of football that was. I mean, unreal for Switzerland to be 3-1 down with 9 minutes to go. I was listening to Alistair Bruce Ball and Chris Sutton on the commentary on 5 Live, and they were unreal. And it was quite funny because Ali was trying to tempt Chris and saying, well, you know, it could happen, and Chris was sure it wouldn't. And then bang, they go and score. And then for it to go to penalties, it's the luck of a draw, isn't it, really? And there was a lot of talk about Hugo Lloris, the France goalkeeper, not being the most confident when it comes to saving penalties. Obviously, he did save one in the actual main 90 minutes, but there was a stat that Ali pulled out where Mike Magnan, who's I think the third choice France goalkeeper, had like a better shot save rate or some form of gentrified football statistic out there. He used one of them. But you know, they prevailed on penalty, Switzerland, and Jan Sommer, the Sommer of love, he has sent his country delirious. Switzerland are through in the European Championships. I can't believe that.
It is just entirely unexpected and insane and beautiful to watch. I do want fans to get involved. We're going to be speaking to some fans in a little bit. Before we do that, I know you're going to be with me for the next couple of weeks. So I thought it would be good if we gave you a theme tune. I mean, this is what I came up with. Yes. Is that working for you?
Yeah,
you don't sound that enthusiastic.
It's not bad.
What do you mean? Why did you sound disappointed? I thought you'd love it.
I prefer a bit of Boney M.
A bit of Boney M? Okay. Yeah. Maybe we'll try Boney M tomorrow. I thought that would work for today.
You can change it up as you want, really.
It is my mission over the next 2 weeks to make sure we find you the perfect theme tune. You're going to be with me for the next couple of weeks. We're going to be doing this together.
Loving it.
So I will make sure we find you the right theme tune. We're going to be speaking to a whole bunch of fans. Before I do that, I just want to know, Aaron, from you, the competition, of course, has shifted and morphed. Who would you say are the new favourites, the current favourites right now?
That's so difficult, Mabine. It's so difficult. Are you asking for a professional opinion or for an actual opinion?
I will ask for your professional opinion right now and then maybe your opinion later.
Then for my professional opinion, because I represent the BBC, I've got to say everyone has a chance.
That's very diplomatic.
Everyone has a chance.
Yes, I will ask for your opinion a little bit later. I want to go to Cyril Roulette, who is a French football fan, I think in a pub in Manchester. Cyril.
Yes, hello.
How you doing? You're laughing. You sound all right. How are you feeling?
Come on, it's only football.
Yes.
Plus it's Switzerland. They're always neutral, you know. So there you go. You can't blame them for winning. They played well.
Yes.
The French had that massive opportunity with Kingsley Coman hitting the crossbar at the last minute. If that had gone in, well, I would probably be smiling even more.
Yes, Cyril. Anyway, do you know? I want to give you a hug. You sound so buoyant considering what's happened, and you've got a very, very kind of sober view on the whole thing. Talk me through the last couple of hours and the highs and the lows. Were there bits where you thought France had it in the bag?
Okay. Well, I've been organising like meetups for all the French supporters for years now. I've been in Manchester since 2006, so we always meet up to organise. Tonight there must have been about 50 of us in a pub. The atmosphere was great, and we had about 5 Swiss supporters with us.
Oh.
And yeah, well, it was great. Honestly, one of them was actually sat next to me. and it was absolutely brilliant. Like, okay, it's a game. I would have preferred. We would have been more cheerful if we had won and all that. But honestly, everyone is still outside the pub.
I am loving this, Cyril. Do you know what? If you had fun with the Swiss fans, why don't we bring in Oliver, who is a Swiss fan? Oliver, welcome. Where are you?
Good evening. Good evening. I'm buzzing, obviously.
Yes, you are. Tell me about the last couple of hours in your world. What were your highs and lows, and how are you feeling right now?
I mean, first of all, it was an absolutely brilliant day of football. That early mistake from Unai Simon feels like weeks ago now. Now I've watched the game alone to be able to focus on some specific things, and it was like a roller coaster from the beginning. I thought the game was lost when France went up 3-1, but we showed fantastic character, and then over extra time and penalty shootout was just my heart.
Yes, your heart. Oliver, do you think we're going to be talking about this, and do you think Swiss fans are going to be talking about this forever now? Is this a historic night for Swiss fans?
It is, because we've lost our last couple of penalty shootouts against Poland in 2016, against Ukraine in 2006. And we've never reached the quarterfinal for, I believe, 80 years. So this checks off two boxes, and it was absolutely massive. And Switzerland is buzzing. People are honking. I'm not living in the city center here, but people are honking. People are on the streets. People are celebrating, screaming, and it's after midnight. So,
Where are you? Massive. Where are you, Oliver?
I'm in Biel, Switzerland, which is a smaller city.
And there's a lot of noise and excitement. I can imagine that. Cyril, I hate to do this to you because you are in a good mood, and I'm not trying to rub this in.
No,
I'm really not. But there was a miss, wasn't there? Let's just relive that for a second. This is
a superstar of the game, but this is pressure. This is real pressure. He knows if he misses, the favourites are out. Mbappe gets ready to go, has to score, to take it to sudden death with his right foot. Someone saves! Mbappe couldn't deliver. Mbappe's asking the referee if someone was off his line too early. The Swiss can't celebrate just yet. They can now. It's been cleared. The Swiss have done it. Kylian Mbappe has seen his penalty saved. And the world champions are knocked out of Euro 2020 in the last 16 by Switzerland, who never previously had beaten them in a competitive international. They were 3-1 down going into the last 10 minutes of the game, found themselves 2 goals, and Kylian Mbappe looks absolutely forlorn.
Cyril, I mean, you are a buoyant kind of guy, and I can feel the smile on your face. When you hear that, do you think French fans are going to be talking about this for a long, long time, or they're just going to brush it off?
Well, the only thing is, after the World Cup Kylian Mbappe had in 2018, what can you blame him for? Okay, would you rather have the Euro or the World Cup? Clearly, I know the answer. I'm sure England supporters will agree with me since 1966. Not rubbing it in, as you said. I know I'm going to get slaughtered for that, but honestly, Kylian Mbappe all along this Euro was just the shadow of himself.
Really? Aaron, come in.
Cyril, first, I just want to say how very, very, I want to say the right word here, how very romantic I find it that you can say the word slaughtered in a French accent. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, well,
So I wanted to ask you about Kylian Mbappe. I mean, a lot of talk about him, a lot of pressure on him. Let's just say after achieving so much in that World Cup win, is he tired? Is there just too much pressure on him?
Is he tired? No, he's out of shape because PSG are dominating the French league so much. He needs to move. He cannot stay at Paris as long as he's healthy. He's actually not as good as he used to be when he was in Monaco or Paris at the beginning. Like, if you compare the Mbappe from 2018 to today, it's half. He's got, basically, the one in 2018 has got 2 Mbappe-ish legs. And that's the big problem. Like tonight, we actually had bets with my friends, and some of them were going, okay, he's going to be stupid. He's going to try a Panenka. And honestly, Yeah, why not?
Why not? Aaron, tell me this, and I'm asking for your, not just as a fan, but as a commentator here. The idea, you know, as Cyril just said, that actually they've won the World Cup, and that's more important than this. Do you think France are just going to brush this off and put it down as a blip, or do you think it's more significant than that?
Maybe it's the changing of a guard. I mean, you know, what Didier Deschamps has done to reinvigorate this nation, if you like, as a footballing nation over the past he's been in charge since 2012, but I think back to the Euro 2016 campaign. I was there in the Stade de France watching when you destroyed Iceland, when it should have been England you were playing. You know, and France were unreal. The names of some of the players they can afford to leave out of their squad, forget having their squad. France will be back. Don't worry about that. There are plenty of players about. You know, I think of someone like, you know, the youth coming through, Eduardo Camavinga. You know, Tanguy and Ndombele hasn't had the best of seasons at Spurs, but, you know, he will feature in the future. Dayot Upamecano will feature in the future. Anthony Martial, everyone forgets about him. But, I don't forget about him either. You know, we look at all these players that France have, and they will be back. I just wonder now with Didier Deschamps, he's been there 9 years. Again, there are a lot of jobs out there. Cyril, can you see him staying? Do you want him to stay?
Do you know what the good news is? Zidane is coming. Zidane has always said he wanted the French job. After Domenech was a nightmare as a coach. Then we had Blanc. Blanc started rebuilding the team. Then we had Deschamps, who's done a good job. And now, for the verb, for the spirit, for the I don't know, like the sexuality of football, we're going to have Zidane. And now we're going to be back, actually, where we should be, not playing pass football. When you're 3-1 up, why do you stop playing? The Swiss were actually with their head at the bottom of the bucket and were actually pressing on their head for them to swallow the water. And we just stopped. Why?
Yes.
After the penalty, you had a penalty save, then you score 3 goals. You're on the rise. You need to carry on.
Cyril, do you know what I have to say? I do agree with Aaron in that a lot of what you're saying, it just sounds like poetry. It absolutely does. Beautiful. Cyril and Oliver, stick with us. Of course, there was another massive match this evening. Let's hear a bit from that.
Pasalic now out to the left-hand side. Orsic steadies himself. Right foot upon it. Pasalic! It's 3-3! Croatia are back from the dead in Copenhagen! Wow! Pasalic started the move. They are refusing to bow down. They were 3-1 down in the 85th minute, but now before the end of the game, they have it back to 3-3. You simply cannot beat knockout football in a major tournament, and Croatia have this game now set for extra time. 3-3.
That was Croatia's equaliser. Anna Maria Stewart is the co-owner of Taste Croatia Deli in Borough Market. Anna Maria, welcome. Where did you watch the match and how did that moment feel?
I did watch the match. I was on the sofa, off the sofa, screaming my head off. To the point that my husband said, please keep quiet, the neighbours are going to send the police round. Every time I say to myself, I'm not going to get stressed out, I'm not going to swear, and it just completely disintegrates, and it's terribly stressful. It was a really, really good game. I mean, you know, Spain were obviously the better team on the day, but it was just super exciting, and we made, I think, some very big mistakes. So they're going through. We basically lost. The way we came back from 3-1 down, I think, was amazing.
You thought it was amazing. Did you think the team did itself justice? Do you think, you know, you're being very cordial in terms of the result, but do you think Croatia did well?
No, I think we should have done better, to be honest. But Perisic being, you know, he tested positive for coronavirus. He's one of our main strikers. Because if you look at his team compared to the World Cup team 3 years ago, we lost Mandzukic, who was a really good scorer. We lost Rakitic as well, who was brilliant. So it's a slightly different team anyway. We've got quite a few young players coming up, but they're, you know, inexperienced. They haven't had that much practice in major tournaments yet. So I think there's a lot of pressure now. So from the fans post-match, a lot of the fans are saying Dalic has to go, the manager, because he should have played Orsic. We equalised to 3-3. He should have played him straight away. But, hindsight is a very good thing, isn't it?
Yes.
But I think the fact that we didn't have Perisic from the beginning did throw us a bit. And we always seem to be at our best when we are down. It's really weird. We always kind of just come up with the goods when we're losing. And but it was an amazing, amazing game.
Yes, 8 goals. Let me bring in Maida Aragonés, who's a Spanish football fan. Maida, welcome. What was the match like for you? 8 goals, 5 of those to Spain. What was it like watching that?
Hello, good evening. What a day. It was incredible because we were playing really good, but then with the terrible mistake that Unai had, I think Croatia took advantage of us, and they played really good for a long time. But then after the medium time, we've been encouraged and we did a really good job. And also no one has faith on us. And it's been said that Spain has not goal, but we have made 10 goals in 2 matches. So probably we are doing something right, I mean. Yeah, it was quite good and quite exciting because it was really funny. I was talking with my friends and I saw this morning on TikTok a video about our pet predicting the result of this tonight, and the pet said that Spain is going to win in the penalties, and then it was Switzerland who won. Yes,
so there was a prediction there. But I know Spain, if I'm not mistaken, is this the first time there's a team that scored 5 goals across in 2 matches in the Euros? That's a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, for a team that hasn't have enough goals, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, Aaron, help me out. Give me a bit of history here. Has that ever happened before?
That is quite the stat.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Fantastic.
It's amazing because we have been doing really bad the last years, and I really think no one has faith on us because we can see the words that Van der Vaart said about us, like Spanish shit, they have nothing to do, and we are here. So let's hope.
Yeah, do you think this is going to give the Spanish team the kind of fire to go all the way now?
Definitely. I think the country has been out from the Euro because there is no fight on us, but I think this match is going to be the difference between the last matches and now. I think the whole country is going to push the team, and they are going to be with them.
Imagine what would happen if you had an actual proper striker, though. Imagine if there was a Fernando Torres playing in that team, or Alvaro Morata playing in that team. I know he's not. A lot of people criticise Alvaro Morata, but imagine if you had an actual, a proper out-and-out striker in that team. You'd be very, very dangerous. But it's interesting because there's a lot of the older players there that are not carrying Spain. But I look at Cesar Azpilicueta, who a lot of people talk about N'Golo Kante and his role, but Azpilicueta to win the European Cup at Chelsea, to really lead them as well. I mean, that final was unbelievable. And to play a starring role in this Spain campaign as well, he is fantastic. For 31 years of age, he's absolutely phenomenal.
Yes. I want to know, Maida, you're obviously a Spanish supporter, Spain supporter, but you're living in England, as is Cyril, as is Anna. I think Oliver's the only one that's actually in Switzerland. So for the 3 of you that are living in England, moving forward, if your teams went through, great. So that's you, Maida. But for Cyril and for Anna, who are you going to be supporting England moving forward?
Who, England?
Yeah.
Never.
Is that not on the cards?
Of course not. Look, I'm with some Swiss supporters. I can pass on one but believe me, no. Tonight was a great atmosphere and all that, no problem. So, and I'm sure that if any Swiss people are listening from Manchester, they should come to this pub here. So, am I allowed to say the place?
Oh, yeah, go on. Why not?
Pioneer in the northern quarter. So, at 5 o'clock, they've booked a few tables. The atmosphere is great. The guys are good. Well, they're sweet. But they seem to be decent enough. Now, honestly, as you can see, I'm surrounded by Swiss guys. And they're in a very, very good spirit. Okay?
Very good. What about you, Anna? Are you going to be supporting England?
I think I will. Although my husband is a Londoner, but his mum is German, so I might just wind him up and say I'm rooting for Germany. Just to annoy him. Why not?
Nothing like football to just start domestics, is it? I mean, nothing like
completely. We are in the next half hour. We're having a festival of all things German, so we'll come on to that after 11:30. We absolutely will. I want to know, Aaron. I'll come back to your kind of fan opinion in a second, but I want to know from all of you. So Anna, first of all, have you got predictions for who is actually going to take this all the way now?
I really think it'll be Germany.
You reckon it'll be Germany?
They're just so organised and so efficient. I don't know. I just have a feeling it might be Germany.
That's a national stereotype in a couple of words, isn't it? Organised and efficient. Yep. There you go. You said it. Maida, what about you?
Well, I want England and Spain in the final, but then it's like I've got opposite feelings because I'm living here in England. I want to England won because I think this could be amazing and go to Wembley and have a lot of fun watching the game. But also I want Spain to win because no one wants us to win and no one has faith. So I think we can do it.
That's quite amazing. So because you live here, you'd like England to win. You just think it would kind of put a smile on everyone's face.
Yeah. But I mean, I love football, so I was going to be happy as with one. I only want France to win, and they are kicked off, so I'm happy.
Very good for you, Cyril. Go on. You've got. I can sense you know about these things. Who would you say is going to go all the way? Can you make any predictions?
All the way. Since the beginning, I've been saying Italy, even though I really, really do not like this team. When it comes to football, I have nothing against Italian people or Italian culture or anything. It's just from a footballing point of view, I really don't like them. I remember the World Cup 1990, boring. 1994, I was so happy when Brazil won on penalties. And the World Cup 2006 actually helped reinforce that opinion. So no, seriously, I do think Italy has a very strong team. Spain have got a good chance. And from a French point of view, I really hope Belgium do not win. That's all. Because as I said to Duncan the other day when I spoke to him, we've actually created an expression, avoir le seum.
Explain that.
To be a sort of some sore losers or not to admit the defeat. Anyway.
Yes, very good.
This actually appeared in 2018. So just for that, I really think actually my favorite Italy, Spain, and just behind England, but somehow don't forget Germany.
See, I love that. I asked for one prediction and you gave me about 5, which is brilliant.
He knows what he's doing.
I give you 4. I give you the... Okay, now you want a prediction for tomorrow's game? I actually think Germany may get England out, to be completely honest. I'm sorry about that again.
I'm sure there's lots of German fans listening who are very excited to hear that.
But I've got one right in front of me, and he seems to be very happy. He seems to be very happy with my comments.
Do you reckon? I just want to ask Oliver for a brief prediction. Oliver, go for it.
I'm going with Italy if it's not Switzerland. So it's Italy for me. It's tactically the most interesting team. Not the best players, but I think you can win this tournament via tactics. And they have a strong bench, as we've seen against Austria.
Very good. Aaron, I want your fan perspective now. I want you to just speak with passion and dump all the professionalism in a bin for a second.
Okay.
And just tell me what you think is going to happen.
Yeah, I really back Italy. I think they're not spectacular, but they get the job done really, really well. And the way they pulled those 2 goals out of the bag against Austria was fantastic. So I'd love England to win. I really want England to win. I'd be very emotional if England won. But Italy for me.
Let's see what happens. It has been a day of just high drama, hasn't it? It's been beautiful and emotional and amazing. So Anna and Maida, Cyril, Oliver, thank you all for joining us. Aaron, stick around because I like chatting to you. So you stick around for a little bit, yeah?
I will.
Thank you, my friend. It is just after 11:30 and it's time for the 5 Live News and Sport with Shabnam Yunus-Jewel.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
And here is the 5 Live News. The new Health Secretary, Sajid Javid, has ruled out ending England's lockdown measures early on July the 5th, but says he sees no reason to go beyond the target date of July the 19th. He told MPs the government was aiming for around 2/3 of all adults to have had 2 doses of a coronavirus vaccine by that date. Matt Hancock had to resign as Health Secretary on Saturday after breaching lockdown guidance. British people travelling to some of the most popular holiday destinations in Europe are facing new COVID restrictions on their arrival. Only fully vaccinated holidaymakers can avoid a fortnight's quarantine in Portugal, while Spain and Malta are also introducing tighter measures. And the first part of a new counter-terrorism operations centre has been unveiled in southwest London. The Home Secretary, Priti Patel, says it will allow those involved in countering the terror threat to work much more collaboratively and effectively and make everyone in the UK safe. Now, as we've been hearing, what a night at the Euros, ending in the favourites France being knocked out by Switzerland in the first penalty shootout of the tournament.
It's been cleared. The Swiss have done it. Kylian Mbappe has seen his penalty saved. And the world champions are knocked out of Euro 2020.
Yes, heartbreak there for Kylian Mbappe, France's star striker, and that was after they'd drawn 3-3 after 90 minutes. Well, the Swiss will now face Spain in the quarter-finals after they went through by beating Croatia 5-3 in extra time. Tomorrow, of course, it's England's return. They face Germany. We'll have all the build-up from 3:30 here on 5 Live with commentary at 5 o'clock. Scott Parker has been named the new Bournemouth head coach after leaving Fulham. Andy Murray won his first-round match on his return to singles action at Wimbledon. He beat the 24th seed Nicholas Basilashvili in 4 sets after a bit of a wobble in the third, losing it after being 5-1 up. Elsewhere, Britain's Katie Boulter is through to round 2, but Heather Watson, Katie Swan both went out, as well as Jack Draper, who lost to the world number 1 and defending champion Novak Djokovic. And Britain's Geraint Thomas dislocated his shoulder but didn't suffer a fracture after crashing on stage 3 of the Tour de France. That was won by Tim Merlier. Matthew van der Poel retained the leader's yellow jersey.
5 Live Breakfast.
I did put the England flags up last night.
Did you now?
I did. Now, that was in part because I needed to let the taxi driver know where our house was because it's impossible to find.
It's like you're a spy or something.
To be honest, I was doing a bit of a clear out, but I found my flags. I was like, why are these not up? I don't see many England flags around at the moment at all. So the flags are up outside the house at the moment.
How many flags have you got?
3, 2 on the front gates, 1 by the front door.
Wow.
Now, they may be down by Wednesday morning, but they are proudly flying today. So we're all looking forward to that. Cannot wait for it. It's going to be a huge, huge game tomorrow evening.
England play Germany at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Live commentary here on 5 Live.
And tomorrow morning, Rick, I mentioned this, we're going to be live at the school that Harry Kane once attended, also where David Beckham went to school as well, in Chingford.
5 Live Breakfast. Back tomorrow from 6.